True nourishment isn't about perfection or comparison. It's about consistency, good quality ingredients, lifestyle balance, and self-compassion. Lee Holmes, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. It's great
good?
to be here.
I know. Let me start with this. We are living in a time where there has never been more information about health, nutrition, and food. More apps, more influencers, more research papers. And yet, people are sicker, more confused, and more anxious about food than ever before. What's going on?
I know. I find it so complicated. There are so many different avenues to health. And I think that there's just so much information. And there is a lot of people online especially doing their own thing, influencers, that kind of thing. And as a clinical nutritionist, I obviously studied clinical nutrition. I love it. I stay in my lane. But a lot of people, they want to start, as an influencer, and then they're interested. Sometimes it's because of their own personal health struggle, and they get into it, and they do breed a little bit of misinformation. And there's also, obviously, a lot of people want to do products, and so getting into product development and things like that, or if you're a celebrity already, you can put your name to a product, and that's not necessarily good because sometimes those products aren't very efficacious. They don't really work. They've got a lot of different ingredients. Plus, there's so much messaging online, don't you think? And eat this, go on this diet, do this, do that. And yeah, there's a lot of rules and regulations. And for me, it's just about getting back to basics. And like you said, consistency is key.
It is, like you said, stay in your lane. But I find that with social media, I find it too much. Like I was telling Chris, it seems like when I wake up in the morning and we all seem to want to grab our phone. It's like the first thing you think about. If anyone that says they can't, well done. I'm trying to learn that. And I've tried to delay it. But there's that instant gratification, that instant endorphin hit, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what the messaging is that you're getting excited about, because most of it is telling us something we're not good at or we're missing out on. And it's rife in bodybuilding. I'm just letting you know. You're
Really?
not doing, yeah, because they're saying you're not doing the bench press right. You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. Just a lot of things, really. And what I'm finding is with food as well, I myself too, like I said, getting confused. But I had, who was Apollo? What was Apollo's qualification? What was he? He's from Greece.
Oh,
Apollo. Yeah, I know.
He's a god.
He's a god, by the way. We'll speak to gods here too. We had him on. Took a while to get him. He was up in heaven there somewhere. So he's a nutritionist. Is he a nutritionist too?
Sports and exercise nutrition.
Right. Okay.
And I was saying, and like yourself, you have a fair amount of followers, obviously, but it seems, and I said that to him as well, but it seems like, well, I don't know, how many followers do you have? I don't know. How many?
On Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Probably around 60,000.
Oh, yeah, 60,000.
Yeah.
And you studied it, you're an expert, but someone with 1.2 million trumps you.
Yes.
So when they start talking,
Yeah.
and they're talking about avocados,
Yeah.
or on their toast, on their sourdough, we're all going 1.2 million. That's an expert. Do you know what I mean? Like we're starting to lose sight by the amount of followers and likes they get.
I agree.
That tells us they're an expert instead of credentials and studies and background. And I think that's where it's getting a bit dangerous. Don't you think?
No, I totally agree with that. And
And I was
especially
telling Apollo that too, because he's such an expert guy. But I said, someone with 1.2 million could trump you because they're talking about Tim Tams.
yeah. And usually, they are sometimes they're talking about things that they know a lot about, but other times they are celebrities or influencers, and they jump on bandwagons and they jump on what's trending as well. So that's something that they do, and then they realize that you can, bring out a product, and so they bring out a product, but yeah, people, it's hard because people trust them. They trust you because you know you've got a name or you're influencing them in some way, and they trust you. And that's what makes me really sad, because they put their names to products and they white label products that are just not good. You know.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like creating a character? You know, like everyone's got this
Avatar.
Yeah, or not an avatar, but yes, but a person where you have to dress up like and act like to talk about a product. Some people, they dress up like they're a middle-aged man or a middle-aged woman. Or
I've seen that.
it's quite hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
they do a great job. I got to say,
Yeah.
the workmanship they put in is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find that they're really hitting triggers on people on their body dysmorphia or how they're feeling. And like I said, everything is, you know, you think this salad's good, this salad's no good. But if you eat this, though it doesn't look good, it's good, eat this, only because of calories.
Yeah. Yeah, calories are a big thing. Also, I think, you know, as you were saying, like dressing up as someone, I think some people online are really creative.
Oh my
and
God,
I
they
think
make me
if it
laugh.
gets people to do something positive, then it's always going to be a good thing, right?
100%,
So, yeah.
100%. No, I look, some of the work they put in, you know, with social media, they put a lot of work in. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe they're allowed to send us the wrong information. But so social media in particular, what's the single biggest lie being sold right now in the wellness space?
Right.
If you had to call out one thing.
Yeah. I think it's all the longevity bros. You know, the
yes,
ones
go.
online, the Peter Attias,
Yes.
the Andrew Hubermans,
Yes.
those kind of guys.
Yes.
They're selling something that obviously they're saying that they want to live to like 150 years and you can buy this supplement, you can buy this course, you can spend money on this. And longevity isn't a stream of medicine. It's just, you know, I think we should start to think about, we will just want to age gracefully and do the best we can for our own bodies. And everyone is so different when it comes to nutrition and food, and you know, we have our own constitutions. What works for me may not work for you. So this and also this whole the immortality complex, I call it. You know, you want to live forever. That's just not possible. And it's like selling a dream, you know.
Do you think that we see life as a practice run and we'll get it right the next time?
I think some people might think like that, but
How do you see life?
I'm really
I want to
into,
find another question that you just said. Go on.
yeah, I'm really into philosophy, and I love to try and live in the moment. So I do Vedic meditation.
Right.
And so I try not to think too far ahead or into the future. How I see life is I'm a very simple person. I'm a minimalist. I live like in a simple house. I love to eat just like nice quality ingredients. I love animals. I love nature. I'm just a really, really simple person at heart. And yeah, I try not to, I value friends and family, community, health and wellness, but just from a very simple level. I'm not trying to be like have 1.9 million followers or anything like that. I'm sort of at the end of my career as well, because I'm
Okay.
turning 60 next year. So
Congratulations.
yeah, I've gotten to the point, I've written 11 books.
11 books, yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I've gotten to the point where, yeah, I do a lot of pro bono work with people who have gone through the medical system and, you know, clients, and they get to me at the very end and they're like, I've spent all this money on all of these doctors and I just don't know what's wrong with me. So I do a lot of pro bono work in the community with my nutrition clients as well. So I'm really into giving back and, yeah, genuinely, authentically want to make a difference. And all of this social media stuff, I know it's important to reach more people and things like that. But yeah, I do genuinely live quite a low-key life.
Like your life.
Yeah.
So social media isn't front and center for you. It's
No.
just something you're doing right now to send out a message.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, really educate people and give them options. And most of the education is around listening to their own body and checking in with their own wisdom and doing what works for them, not me prescribing or telling them what to do.
Hey guys, Steve here. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You know the drill. We'd love you to subscribe. We'd love you to hit the notification bell. Why? It gets us out there, allows us to go and get bigger, better, greater. We've already had some great guests, as you know, but we want to continue this. We want to continue this journey with you. So if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified each time we put up a new podcast. Thank you for allowing me to take you away from the podcast. Let's get back to it. How do you Well, that sounds a little bit more like a psychologist in a sense. So how do you tap into that? How do you get them to find out or work that out? Let's go with that first.
Yeah, I think what I do is, especially if I see a client, we talk, and probably like halfway into the consultation, they're talking about, why do they overeat? Why do they crave chocolate at night? Why are they eating too much? That kind of thing. And normally we look at their past, and we look at some of the traumas that they've been through, and sometimes it's a trauma response or the need for a relationship or a security or stability. And so people use food as sort of like a crutch, so to speak, to sort of feed them and something that's missing inside. So we look at all of those kinds of things. And when they talk about it and when they actually make the connection, that is when they can go, you know what, I am in control of my mind and my thoughts and my body and my behaviors, and I can make a difference. I don't have to go and see all these different specialists and what have you. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. We just talk about things. Does that?
Yeah, no, that answer was perfect. No, I wanted to go a little bit but how? So trauma plays a big part. It seems like it plays a big part in everything we do, from food, finances, our careers,
even
our
bodybuilding and over-exercising. I mean, a lot of people with trauma over-exercise.
Yeah.
They do too much. They get, they do all these they have to keep going, and it stops them from going inward. They have a very yang, very outward things like exercise and bodybuilding, I can imagine. I mean, obviously, if they're very competitive, it's a good thing. And bodybuilding's not bad for you. It's a good thing. But when you're overdoing it and doing it because you have, some trauma that's unresolved, a lot of people do over-exercise and overeat or undereat or, go on controlled diets. And it's all because they can't actually control the external, but they can control those things.
Yeah. Do you get many sporting people come and see you that, because I know with not only just bodybuilding, but sport in itself, they're very well looked after when you're a high level sportsman. Yeah. Catering. Yeah. They've got dietitians there. Yeah. And then suddenly you're left at your own demise after it all. Yeah. Do you get many that struggle to find not only purpose in their life, but stability in the food they eat? And once they were this supreme athlete, beautiful,
really hard for them,
and then they're put on all this weight and they just don't know what to do with it. Do you get all of that?
I actually do, because their purpose is gone. Like their whole purpose and their whole persona sometimes is wrapped around their sport. I also teach yoga. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, and in my class I used to have a lot of NRL players.
Oh, wow.
And they would come to class, all the big famous NRL players, but they actually couldn't touch their toes. They were so they couldn't bend over or touch their toes, but they were really sporty and really fit, but they didn't have much flexibility. And also maybe because of all the big muscles, they couldn't touch their toes, but they were also, it was good that they were doing yoga because they were starting to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. And also the shavasana part of it, they were loving. So the meditation. So that's the end of yoga where you just relax and you lie down and you just breathe and you focus on your breath. And they were learning how to sort of connect with themselves rather than have everything more outward,
Yoga. Is that, it seems easy, but I think it's hard. Yeah. What I mean by that is I don't know how to switch off. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm finding, I remember when I was going through some mental health issues myself one time. Yeah. And the only thing that I held on tight to that helped me, besides I was once upon a time on medication, and I found the medication was, and I can only say it like this because I can't really emphasize, but it was like an allergic reaction to me. Whatever I was feeling mentally, it times it by 10.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then once you were gone past 10, you didn't know what baseline was. So people would say, Steve, the moment you took that medication, you changed, it got worse. And then I'd go, yeah, but maybe I was worse. So if I stopped taking it,
Yeah.
but if I stopped taking
it was
it,
hard to tell.
I couldn't tell anymore. But what helped me, and I did have a good psychologist at the time, she got me to do mindfulness of the breath.
Ah, very good.
Yeah. And I used to drive and park the car somewhere where no one would thought I was crazy, and I'd recline my seat back.
Nice.
And back then it was putting CDs in the DVD, whatever it was called.
Because we're 60s babies.
Yeah, we are. So it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, I put a DVD, whatever it's called, I don't know. CD, DVD, they all look the same.
Yeah.
And I remember, and what amazed me, and maybe yoga's a little bit like that, and maybe I should delve into yoga a little bit myself. But what I found with mindfulness of the breath, it was the only thing, breathwork, was that can make you present.
Yeah.
Nothing else can.
Because you're really focusing on what you're doing at that given moment. So you're
That's right.
focusing on breathing in, the breath goes in, as you inhale, your tummy expands, you're thinking about all the different physiological things that are happening in your body.
The coolness going in.
Yeah.
The coolness coming in and the heat coming out.
Yeah.
Like being told that cold.
But it's really good, the breathing. Breathing is really good because it starts to regulate your nervous system. And your nervous system's obviously really, really important for so many areas of your life, in health, wellness, mental health, all those kinds of things. It's even connected to the gut, It's good. Your sympathetic nervous system is the thing that can keep you in fight or flight all the time. And because of all the training and mental health things, you can sort of live your life in that fight or flight. So breathing helps you come back to homeostasis again and feel centered. Yep. And that way, once you've done like the breathing, I don't know if you've noticed this, but once you've done the breathing, you can have more clarity. You can think clearer, and you're not sort of running on adrenaline all the time.
And we said this when we first met about compounding. It's something you got to learn to compound.
Yeah.
Just because you do it once, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's literally a flex. You really got to try. And I found what reassured me, and if anyone's listening with the breath, mindfulness of the breath, was the noise. You're allowed to hear as much noise as possible, meaning not noise like trucks driving past, which could be a truck driving past, but you could be breathing and suddenly thinking, oh, yeah, I've got to pay that bill, right? And you're allowed to say, okay, now let's get back to the breath.
Yeah, exactly.
But many people are fighting all those thoughts. And I had, because this guy spoke occasionally, he goes, it doesn't matter if you come back to your breath after 1,000 thoughts. Yeah. As long as you keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can
just let them float like clouds.
Yeah.
You can have the thought, and it's okay to have the thought. Everyone has the thought. Yeah. But then if you just let it float away and not connect to it, if you don't sort of hook into it, when we hook into thoughts, that's when we start to spiral, Yeah.
And I found that, and until sometimes people say I couldn't sleep, I was thinking a lot, and we all do it, and I do it. And like I said, I haven't compounded this, so I'm no good at mindfulness of the breath at the moment, right? But I need to practice it. I need to do something. But I found that I tell people the only way you could possibly stumble yourself back to sleep is to be in the moment and start thinking about your breath, like start feeling it, listening to it.
Yeah. You know what I do at nighttime if I can't sleep, if there are times when I can't sleep? There's an app called Insight Timer, and I put it on, and there's all these different nervous system regulations, meditations. It's all free.
What's it called?
And it's called Insight Timer. Okay. And I pop it on. I know you're not really supposed to have your phone next to your bed, but I pop it on, and then I just do like a guided meditation. I just let it run, and I'm always asleep before it's finished. So, it just gets your body into that very relaxed state.
Yeah, I find I just loved it. I wish I do it more. I don't do it more. That's the thing.
Do you think you don't do it because the time, like you're busy, or what are the excuses, or what are the reasons that you're not doing it, would you say? Or is it just not in your mind to do it?
No, I think the first thing I thought about when you said that, why don't I do it, is because I'm probably heading towards it.
Yeah.
No, you're going to like what I'm heading towards it, but I haven't driven off the cliff yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're in the direction
I'm ready to drive off the cliff. And until I drive off the cliff, then I'll start doing mindfulness of the breath.
So you wait to the very, very last minute.
But I've learned it's incorrect. I
Yeah.
should stop at amber lights. I should stop
Yeah,
at
having a regular practice can also keep you sort of
not driving off the cliff.
Yeah,
and I think
from that sort of up and down, you know,
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster
And I
that
think
a lot of
that's-
people go on.
yeah, and I think I'm angry at the moment
Why are you so angry at the moment?
because I don't know. I'm angry because you talk about trauma, right? You said something about trauma. I really don't know what my trauma is. I don't. I don't know what my trauma is. I mean, I was a fat kid, a little bit
Yeah.
bullied, I guess.
Bullied? Yeah.
Yeah, and my parents were great, but not perfect. I was in trouble a lot.
Yeah.
But somehow, consciously, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Someone needs to talk to my subconscious because someone told me it's my subconscious mind that's got the problem. And I can't tap into my subconscious mind to find out. What's your problem, man?
Do you have dreams? Because sometimes people tap into their subconscious via
No,
dreams.
I'm not much of a
You're
dreamer,
not much of a
but
dreamer.
no, I'm not much of a dreamer, but I just think at the moment, it's me and you, no one else is listening here.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit angry at the moment. I
Yeah.
think I'm trying to, I'm believing that being a nice person, being a truthful person, honest person, and maybe having a bit of faith or a spirit, whatever you want to call it, is enough to see me through. But what I'm realizing, life isn't fair.
No. It
But-
throws you curveballs.
It ain't fair one bit.
Yeah.
And I think I've just got to not over-exercise in my mind
Yeah.
and my practices.
Yeah.
And just,
That's what I did. I simplified. And that's why I moved up to Palm Beach and
it's a great place,
decided
Palm
that I
Beach.
needed a really simple life because I'd written all these books. You know,
Yeah.
it was the height of my career, a roller coaster of everything. I got long COVID and it kind of forced me to just take time and really do the things that I talk about, you know, really practice the tips that I give to all my clients. And I do that. And I will do walk the walk and talk the talk and yeah.
yeah. And I found that energy is, and I saw this on social media, so I don't know if this guy, because he has a lot of followers, I believe him or not. But I found that energy is energy, and energy, you maybe correct me, can't differentiate a lot of things, meaning, how do I put this? Like sometimes you think, oh, I keep doing the right thing, but I keep having bad luck. Like things go wrong. And then someone's being so deceiving and everything's going right. And you're wondering what. But
I understand.
But maybe there's a core energy that is a commitment to oneself and trusting oneself, even though they might be untrusting. They're trusting themselves. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know.
agree.
Energy to me is a funny thing at the moment. So I'm trying to understand that. And I'm trying to understand, like I said to you, this subconscious mind, which
Yeah.
I can't tap into, talk to right now and ask questions about.
I
What
think-
bothered you when you were young, Stephen?
Yeah, I think energy, definitely. There are energies that circle around us. And
What do you
there
think
are
about people's
energies
energy and people around you? What do you think about that?
What do I think about that? I'm really affected by people's energy.
Me too.
So I'm quite a calm person and I'm quite a sensitive person, I have to say. So if someone's really extroverted and full on or hardcore, I retreat. I need to go home and be by myself for a day. I don't really go out too much. I'm a bit of an introvert, to be honest. So I protect my energy though. But I was going to say back then with the energy thing, there's also our mind and our thoughts. So in terms of our thoughts, we can change them to say, it's a little bit like manifesting.
Go ahead.
You can say to yourself, I'm good. Everything's going to go really well. I have a mantra, and every day I wake up and I say like 20 times a day, I'm healthy, wealthy, safe, and wise. Every single day. And it puts me in a really positive frame of mind. And I feel like it changes the shape of my day. So I do think your thoughts, like putting positive thoughts into your mind, if you've got a negative thought, try and switch it out for a positive one. It sounds really simple, but for me, it really works. Like I manifested my house in Palm Beach. I kept dreaming about living in Palm Beach because I'd been there when I was 16 and I was like, I'm going to live here one day. One day I will get a house here and I will live here. So I pictured myself living in a little white house with a beautiful deck overlooking the water, cute little cottage. I pictured it every single day for a year. And then I was so lucky to be able to find one and do it. So, yeah, I used to live in the eastern suburbs around here.
Yes.
And I sold up and I moved up there to a very simple little place. It was actually Guy Sebastian's old house.
Where you're living now?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
he owned it. I think he bought it when he won Australian Idol.
Okay.
So it's a really simple, cute little house. And I've renovated it and painted it white. And yeah, it was just exactly as I manifested. So I think our thoughts can definitely make a difference to the way things play out. Obviously, you know, there's, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think people have a sort of path that things are going to happen for them, or what do they call it? Pre-something path?
That's a good question. Thank you for asking me that question. I think, I don't know. I believe in manifesting. Okay, I believe in manifesting. I believe that I have a spiritual capability.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I also believe that I don't believe it. Meaning there are people that pretend, portray it, and act on it out there and can make money on it and carry on about it. Where with me, I really do believe I have a healing power. But, and the reason I know that is because it comes from one place, and I think one place alone, and it comes from love.
Yeah, I love that.
That's all it comes from.
Yeah,
if
I agree.
Once you put love, if love is the center stone of that, trying to help someone or heal someone or work with someone, it's love.
I feel like you've totally hit the nail on the head, because when I talked to you before and you were saying, I was like, how did you start your podcast? And you're like, well, it just kind of happened. We were just one day, we were like, let's do a podcast. Now I'm up to 152, 153 episodes. And I thought to myself that you are doing things with passion, with authenticity, with love, with caring, with nurturing, with trying to get the message out there. And when you do things with that really good intent and intention, then a lot of the time they're successful, and you're successful at it, and you've been really successful at it, and you've had all these guests and everything like that. And I feel like you have really good intentions, and it does make a difference. Honestly, I really do. Because you know all the ones with the big, we were talking about the big influencers and things like that. The house of cards is falling down for a lot of those wellness bros and wellness people that are not authentic and are just jumping on bandwagons at the moment.
Look, it's 100%. I think you have to, live with yourself. You have to go home and open the front door, walk into your house.
You've got to go to sleep at night.
You've got to go to sleep on your own. I think, but I think as well with energy manifestation, I'm at a crossroad, and this, because when I was young and a lot of the success was happening, I didn't have practices. Like I didn't have necessarily a vision board, and I didn't have phrases, and I didn't have get on my hands and knees and be at the grateful moments time. What I mean is, and sometimes I've tried to put in all those practices, and I found that sometimes those practices makes you, sorry, and I'm going slow here, makes it like you're manipulating it.
I agree. I completely agree with
And
you.
sometimes, so what I mean by that is, I think what's that book? You've got it up here, Chris. It's the one, I'm going to swear a little bit here. The one that says, Life is Fucked or something like that. What's it called?
Everything's fucked.
Yeah, but what's the book before that?
The Subtle Art.
The Subtle Art.
Subtle Art
I'm not
of
giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And when I was reading it,
Yeah.
and it said, like, when you write down on a piece of paper, I am wealthy, it's kind of saying, well, you're not wealthy. That's why you're writing it, because you've got to manifest it. I am rich. All right, I'm broke, but I'm rich. So it's like, and I was kind of like saying, because when you're rich, you don't write down, I am rich.
Yeah.
You might write
true.
what you're missing.
But also wealth is subjective too, because when I say I'm healthy, wealthy, safe and wise,
No,
the wealthy part of that is not just about money.
Wealthy
it's
is not
about being able
Wealthy is
to
not
have
about
the means to be able to do what I do and to do my work. I'm not like a multi-millionaire or anything. The wealthy part is to be wealthy in
No, I never took wealthy as money. What I'm trying to say is
I know it's like The Secret. Remember The Secret?
Yeah, I do remember The Secret. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like that. Like, everyone started writing themselves checks and things like that. I feel like sometimes that is spiritually not good karma
and that's,
when you selling and marketing The Secret,
And that's why I feel like sometimes, in all honesty, like I have... This was my morning ritual. It's sometimes it's in there and it's not. So it's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So it was once upon a time, cold shower.
Yeah.
Cold shower.
Oh no.
I know it's a cold shower. But I found with a cold shower, the great thing about cold showers, I'll tell you what's great about cold showers. Predominantly. So let's say you get up and you're anxious, worried. Oh my God, I'm worried. As soon as you have a shower, all you worry about is cold water.
Yeah.
So it just gets rid of...
It brings you back.
It just rips everything out. You go, this is cold. So if you want to get in the moment of hell, have a cold shower, you'll be hating cold water. So the cold shower, then it would be reading my affirmations.
Yeah.
Mate, it started becoming the whole cupboard. I had affirmations everywhere. I'd be there for half an hour reading my affirmations, right? The whole cupboard, right? So, because this is a good one, write this down, this is a good one. And then it'd be looking at my vision board. But then I realized what the vision board really is. What a vision board is predominantly not something that you need to think about.
No.
It's when you walk past, you might go, oh, I did think of that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, really? Do I really believe I'm going to... Let's just say, I'm really going to have a private jet. That's hilarious. But then you walk off and you never see it for a couple of days and you go past it again and you go, oh my God, that jet's still there. And you walk off. So at least you're not thinking about a private jet all the time in your head. That's just going extremely materialistic. And then I'd go and hit the boxing bag outside. Right. Hit a bit of the bag.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to where the sun is, and I get on my hands and knees, and I do my gratefuls, right? I do my gratefuls. That was my fucking morning, right? And let me tell you, things haven't been going great. But for years, that was my morning. And then one day, I just said, fuck it, I just want a black coffee right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit down because that's what I want.
Yeah.
And I sat down because I don't smoke. And once upon a time, I did smoke a little bit, but just cigarettes, nothing else. But I just wanted without being too visual, I'd get up, I'd make a Turkish coffee. There I am naked in my kitchen because I live by myself. And then I'd sit on the couch. I've got my poodle, because I've got a poodle.
Aww.
And I've got a staffy, right? Roxy and Tipsy. And I just sit there and I go, I don't care.
See, that's really good for the nervous system. It's so much better than having this regimented routine where you're like, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this. And
And
sometimes getting back to simple things, like in the morning, I get up and I just go for a little walk around my neighborhood,
Yep,
and
yep.
I don't always had my headphones on, so
Yeah.
I'll just have a look around and go, oh, wow, that looks different today.
That's a nice
oh,
frangipani.
yeah, I like that frangipani. And sometimes that is, I feel like the more simple, the better. You don't have to subscribe to all of these things. That it's
I
just
know.
stressful. It becomes really stressful.
It does. And I don't
You know.
think anyone, whatever success it is, like, let's say there's a successful marriage,
Yeah.
a beautiful, harmonious relationship
Yeah.
that lasted the test of time. I don't think they got up in the morning and did rituals and habits,
No.
right, to make that marriage work, right? So sometimes when I think about, when I do say kneel on the couch to say gratefuls, I might go on the couch and go, whatever, let's be grateful here. Let's be grateful. Bring it on. And then I get up. I go, bring it on.
I love that.
So sometimes, and I think to myself, well, that's real, because I feel,
Yeah.
I think I do still want some practices.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
nice
want-
to have some practice.
Yeah, but I want it to be like just bit like let loose, let me alone, just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Just
you know?
be.
Just be.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Letting people know that you don't have to sit there for 3 hours doing your rituals and habits.
That's true.
So what's the next thing I was going to ask you here?
Okay.
Where did I go here? I think one second, we've missed my front page. There we are. It's on
There
the
we
front
go.
page, God's sake. I think we've kind of spoken about that. All right. It feels like we've made health so complicated as people that people have given up entirely, right?
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you why in a sense. Because if we look at it really, I always tell Chris, it's 5%. 5% of the population is eating well. And the 95% is not. And the 95% tempts us to go over to their side because everyone's doing it. And why are we being so disciplined, and why don't we just stop eating chai seeds, having whatever we do,
Yeah.
and why not just join everybody because they seem happy, but kind of they're not. But what I mean by this is, like, they're choosing between doing it perfectly or not doing it at all, right?
There's no middle ground.
and that's what there's no middle ground. How did we get back? How do we get back to the basics? Because once upon a time, I saw a video. I don't know if it was the 1940s or 1920s, 1940s. And I don't know if it was somewhere in New York or was it in Sydney CBD, but it was that kind of black and white picture. But everyone, naturally, the majority were thin,
Yeah.
well-dressed, slim-like, physically proportioned. There's no gyms.
Yeah.
There was no fads. There was no Tim Tams. So they're well-groomed, fit-like. No necessarily love handles hanging everywhere on the men or whatever it is. However but if you look at today, and it showed the comparison. So it was showing a video of the 1920s, 1940s, and then it showed New York or Sydney, whatever it was now.
Yeah.
And everyone was huge.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I think, you know what, I think a lot of our diet and a lot of the processed foods and ultra processed foods in our diet, even in healthy foods, if you go down the healthy aisle, a lot of those foods are not healthy.
I know.
They're full of gums, preservatives, additives, ultra processed foods. We've been marketed to as that eat this bliss ball, it's really good for you, but it's full of emulsifiers that actually wreck your gut. I think it's about just getting back to real food and getting back to basics rather than paying all this money for those kinds of things, or just going off track and going, oh, I'm just going to get McDonald's every day and eat really badly. It's just, it's just about trying to get back to just real food. Also with all the supplements and things like that. Taking a singular supplement may not be good for you. You're better off just, if you're taking vitamin C, you're better off just eating an orange. So you're getting all of the flavonoids, you're getting all the antioxidants. You're better off just trying to reach for something whole or something, some kind of whole food. I think it's as simple as that, just getting back to basics and, not being too hoodwinked by marketing. And even when you go into the supermarket and you see foods with like the 5-star rating and you look at the ingredients and it's just full of so many processed foods, like 10, 11, 12 ingredients.
What is it about everything, and we're going to talk about this, having some kind of vegetable oil in it? What I mean by that
it's
is
cheaper to produce.
yeah, because I looked at the spice rack.
Yeah.
My God, it's got vegetable oil and everything, and it's just
Yeah.
spices.
Yes.
Like
I know.
and chips. I mean, they're all seed oils. There's only one a Spanish chip brand that has.
Kettle do like I think an avocado oil chip.
Do they?
But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
didn't know
think
that.
they do.
And
But
there's a chip, the Spanish chip.
oh, I know the one.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
cooked in olive oil. So
Yeah.
it's just three ingredients.
I like
How
I like
tops are
that
those
one.
chips?
Yeah, they're really yummy. I
tell you-
love chips. I'm a chip girl. I love
I'll tell you
chips.
what I did with those chips. Just cook, mate. I put the chips down,
Yeah.
and then I made my own guacamole.
Oh, nice. Avocado.
Yeah, but made it myself. Even though it
nice.
was cheaper to buy the packet, I reckon it
Yeah.
would have been. Making things yourself is so expensive.
Yeah. It
It's
can
cheaper.
be.
It costs you $4 to buy avocado dip, and it probably cost me $15 to create my own.
Yeah, that's true.
So and then I did avocado. Then I created my own salsa.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like nachos, but
Yeah,
with
I
chips.
did with chips.
Nice.
And then I grilled chicken breast, right? And then I got, I think, a good cheese, and then I put in the oven, and then
Yummy.
and then there was tacos. What do
Yeah.
you call it?
That's so good.
How good with those chips?
And did you feel good afterwards?
Oh, tops.
Yeah.
Tops. I
It
love
is nice to get into the kitchen. Like if you do have time and,
I think it stops being in the kitchen.
it is nice to get into the kitchen and just cook, simple dishes.
Yeah.
On my website, I have loads of like recipes, and my recipes are very simple. I don't like try and overcomplicate them, So,
I noticed one you
yeah.
did recently. You had chia seeds, honey, something you
Oh,
make.
chia
with-
seeds, yeah, the little
the night
pudding I
before
do.
one, the night
yeah,
before
the night
thing.
before one.
Yeah.
That's super simple. And the reason chia seeds are good is because they have a lot of fiber. And what's missing in our diets, because I know a lot of the gym bros have been going keto and paleo. And those diets are not necessarily good for everybody because they don't contain enough prebiotic fiber and the fibers that you need for your gut. So a lot of the keto and paleo people are now coming to see me going, I've wrecked my gut. My gut's really bad. I've been on keto and paleo. They're not eating enough sweet potato. They're not eating enough, fiber-rich veg. They're eating a lot of protein. Protein's good and we need protein. But too much protein and not enough fiber is not a good combination.
So, what's a good fiber?
Yes, so they're all different types of fiber. So obviously green veggies, all your root veggies and things like that, they're full of prebiotic fibers. And then you have resistant starch, which is also good for the gut. So resistant starch is like cooked and cooled rice. When you cook it and then you cool it, it creates resistant starch, which is really good for the gut. And they
White
can
or
help
brown's
the
better
processes.
or both the same?
White has less nutrients than brown, so brown is better. It's less processed, so that would be a better thing, and it's got B vitamins and iron in it. So you'd go for like brown rice. But yes, having more veggies and fiber-rich veggies are good. Pumpkin, all of those kinds of things. And then prebiotic veggies like asparagus, chicory, onion, artichoke, those kinds of veg are really good as well. So you kind of need a bit of a balance, not just eating protein. Because a lot of people just have, and they have the protein shakes, and the protein shakes have so many other added chemicals and additives in them, like maltodextrin and gums and preservatives and fillers, and to bulk them out a bit. So they're actually not that healthy, and they're really disruptive to the gut. They disrupt the lining of the gut. Then you can't absorb your food properly. You can't absorb your food properly. Then you're not getting all the nutrients from your food, and then you're on a vicious cycle. And you're like, I got muscles and I'm going to the gym, but I get bloated after eating, or I get tired after eating, and it's because of a lot of the processed foods that are in the protein powders that a lot of the gym bros take. And the bars, the bars, the keto bar, all those bars, really not good for you.
Yeah, no,
You're better off eating an apple.
Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, your number one store for all your supplement needs. Visit in-store here in Australia or New Zealand, or go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au, or for our New Zealanders, go to nutritionwarehouse.co.nz, shop away, and at checkout, why not use discount code MTP15 to get 15% off all your orders? I think... Do you think we've been sold numbers?
Yeah.
this is my theory. This
Yeah.
is my theory. Because was there, because we are, I don't know if we're called the golden oldies. That's not where we're at. But
What are we? Are we?
I don't know what
What
we are.
generation are we? No.
What's before X?
What's before X? We Gen X or are we?
UVW. Gen W?
Gen W.
I don't know what we are.
VWs.
We're the V-dubs.
We're the V-dubs.
We're the V-dubs. Do you think, I have this belief that call it pharmaceutical Food Administration companies brought numbers in so that we could take away the word junk food, take away the word fast food, and just fit your calories. So in other words, when you go to McDonald's, you know you're supposed to have 2,500 calories a day.
Yeah.
Because someone told you to, and you look at it and you go, oh, that's got 800 calories, that one burger.
Yeah.
And you go, well, look, I'll just get it. And then because they've created this banking calories in 7 days, isn't that funny? That you can starve yourself for 5 days so you can go on a rampage on Saturday and Sunday.
A lot of the gym guys do that, don't they? They carb load.
Well, carb loading is that before a comp, apparently, because I can't say I've competed, but they deplete themselves down to a point and then they carb load and that fills their muscles,
energy.
glycogen, whatever it is. But no, I'm talking about the everyday person. So they'll go like, they'll put 7 glasses of water and they'll go like, okay, if you're going to have a big weekend, and that's going to be more water, you need more water. How about you just drink less water all week and then you can go crazy on Saturday and Sunday. But I imagine, I mean, I was going to say we all sacrifice for the future, but I'm just saying, imagine doing all that for something that you want to go and really splurge on and not look after yourself. Does that make sense? It's kind of like different if you're saving money. It's kind of like different saving money, say, to buy property. Yeah. Because property then will compound itself somewhere else for you to be able to utilize it. Yeah. But with food, they'll make you not eat, so you can go have 10 pizzas on the weekend and say, well, if we calculate the whole week, 2,500 or 3,000 times 7 is, what is it? 3,000 times 7 is 21,000? Yeah. Well, you've made it. You did 21,000 in 7 days, but I don't know how healthy that would be.
No, I don't think that would be.
And the stress your body on the alarm bells,
because it would really stress the gut, and it would be an overload of too many either carbs or fats or whatever, and it would confuse your body, and I just think it wouldn't be. I think balance and moderation is probably better, and obviously eating moderately every day, you can still have treats. Like, it's not like you have to eat clean and super clean and squeaky clean all the time. I think it's more just about balance and going with what you feel.
So what do you think of my theory that they've brought in calories? That, because I don't remember, and people question that calorie counting. Because
I personally don't calorie count, but I just try and have a bit of protein for breakfast and, something to sustain me, a nice big lunch. I studied Ayurvedic nutrition, so in Ayurveda, your Agni or your digestive fire is higher in the middle of the day. So you have your biggest meal in the middle of the day, and then you have a lighter meal at dinner. Okay. And then I always try and, have some kind of protein and veggies and some kind of carb and a bit of, it's just simple.
So you don't calorie count, but what do you think about this calorie counting?
I personally don't do it, and a lot of my clients are sort of older, so they don't really calorie count. They're more into good quality ingredients and whole foods and real foods and things like that. So calorie counting, obviously calories in is expenditure, and if you're eating too many calories, obviously you're going to put on weight, right? If you're eating too many calories. However, I think in Ayurveda, it's all about eating until you're not completely full, but just almost full and content. And yeah, a lot of people it's just like that evil angel mentality. Like, I'm going to go for it on the weekend. I'm going to eat all this bad food, and then I'm going to eat good food. But that's not balance, is it? Yeah. So I think the calorie thing, I don't personally subscribe to it, but some people do.
How do you know when you've got a bad gut?
Yeah. So how you know is there's different ways to sort of recognize it. Do you ever feel tired after eating a meal?
Sometimes not. It depends the type of meal it is.
Yeah.
But I've learned at the moment how I eat. I eat about 5 meals a day, but I eat
Yeah.
small meals.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So like in the morning, like just to let you know, I mean, I did have protein powder, but in that protein, I put it in the freezer late, and I put green grapes in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So then I let it go cold, and sometimes I mix it not with water. I mix it sometimes, and I know people have this theory. Maybe I'll ask you, but I actually do believe it's still good for you. Raw milk. Mm-hmm. So I mix it with raw milk.
Yeah.
And then I put it in the freezer, and then I cook porridge.
Yeah.
And then I put the porridge on top of that.
Oh, so you mix it all up in together.
And then I have that for breakfast with grapes.
Okay.
I might put a date in there. I don't know. And then my second meal, let's say today on the way here, I had an apple, almonds, and a date.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was my question? I was going to ask, how do you know when you've got a bad gut? And you said, are you tired?
Do you feel tired after eating?
I don't think I haven't been tired for a while. I haven't, because I've been very clean and very good.
There goes that good word again.
Very good, yeah. But but we're saying, all right, so one is tiredness.
Yeah, so one is tiredness, and you could get other things, like you could feel bloated, you could be constipated, you could have, diarrhea, you could have skin disruptions even, you can get itchy after eating.
Yeah.
And a lot of things, so obviously in your gut you have a microbiome, and that's where all your good and bad bacteria live. It's like an ecosystem.
Yeah. I had to look that up.
Keeping your microbiome in balance is important, because your gut is the seat of all health. So it's connected to the brain, immune system, can affect your mind, mental health, the way you think and feel. You've got a vagus nerve that runs from your gut to your brain, and all the messages go up and down all the time. It's like a superhighway.
That's the microbiome?
That's a microbiome. So it's full of all these good
you wanted to talk about
bacteria.
That.
And you've got bad bacteria in there as well. Some of the things that throw off the balance in your gut are things like smoking, antibiotics, a high sugar diet. Stress is one as well that really kind of throws it up. So when that microbiome is imbalanced and not working properly, you've got more bad bacteria than you have good bacteria, and it goes out of whack. That's when that's when you start to notice that after eating you might get these bloating and constipation and diarrhea, or you start to get pain in your gut, or you start to feel tired and things like that. That's when you know your microbiome might be a little bit out. And so helping that come back into balance is really important, and you can do that with food, or you can do it with supplements. You can do it in different ways. Yeah, so that's your microbiome. It's your living kind of ecosystem that sits right here, and it's just about keeping it in balance. So when you said you feel good now, you've been eating kind of clean, that's probably because your microbiome is a bit more in balance. But if you're going off the rails and eating a lot of sweet foods and a lot of sugar and things like that, that is the thing that can affect your microbiome and shift that positive good bacteria into bad bacteria, and then you don't feel good.
How quick can we fix the microbiome?
It depends on the person. So you can fix it. You can fix it by having more probiotic rich foods, things like yogurt, sauerkraut, those kinds of foods that are full of good bacteria.
Some yogurts are crap.
Some yogurts are crap. Yeah, some yogurts have lots of sugar in them, and they really defeats the purpose. And all the numbers and the gels and the gums.
I used to read the ingredients in my 20s. And
did you?
Yeah, my ex-wife used to hate going shopping with me, even back then, because I used to just grab everything, and I'd go, oh, this tuna tin's got 84% tuna. I'm going to it's got more tuna in this one, and it's got less of this. And it's like, just buy it.
It's
And now,
interesting.
yeah, I always, and I still do. I read everything.
Yeah.
I turn it
You're
around.
curious.
I'm always curious. What is it? Firstly, is raw milk good?
I personally don't drink raw milk. I do the A2 lactose-free milk. I find that's the best milk on the market, especially for I have like an autoimmune thing, so a bit of a sensitive gut. So for me, that's really good. I'm not sure about the bacterial thing of raw milk, and I wouldn't take it or suggest it to my clients either. For various reasons, but yeah, so the A2 milk for me is the one that I personally use and like.
I hardly drink milk
Yeah.
because I get love handles.
You get love handles?
Yeah, when I stopped drinking milk, my love handles went. I thought, this is great.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It is, but it's true. And but I was drinking raw milk recently, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Your phone seems to know what you're doing all the time.
Doesn't it?
And all of a sudden I'm reading about raw milk's not good for you and this and that. But I don't know. I feel there's something good about it. I think kind of anything to steer us to just A1 milk or to just the general crap that's out there.
Yeah.
Who wants to try to push a narrative of
Yeah.
good stuff, let's just say. And I did, and I didn't think I was going to drink the whole thing because I was actually using it just to mix my protein powder. And I could only buy 2 litre raw milk. And I'm going, I will not finish it by the end of this month, which I did. I finished it, which was happy. Because know me, I'll go past expiry dates. Are expiry dates real or not?
I mean, it depends on the product.
Because, I mean, isn't yogurt past its expiry date from the moment you bought it?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's a good thing, like if it's still creating those good bacterias. I think it depends. Mold is obviously an issue for a lot of people. So if it's really out of date, it's mold. Some people are sensitive to mold.
I won't eat mold, but my kids come home and they go, this is expired. I go, yeah, it's still good. It's still good, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about eggs?
Yeah. So I think eggs are really good because they're a bit of more of a complete sort of food with a lot of good nutrients and vitamins and minerals and things like that in them, and a good source of protein. So yeah, I personally like eating eggs. I like eating them in the morning because I feel like they sustain me through to lunchtime.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? Do you eat eggs?
Oh my God. When you're a bodybuilder, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you,
we eat eggs. I'll tell you a funny story. So that's how versatile Greeks are. You know, and this is what like probably a good topic to bring up, and we can talk a bit more about microbiome and all that.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I mean, we just lived in a suburb. We had a 500 square meter block, and what was the house? The house was probably 200 square meters of it, maybe 200, half of it. Let's say half of it, 250 square meters. And the other 250 square meters, my dad, I think, used 175 of it to be a veggie patch. All right.
Oh, that's lovely.
And the other, what was left
That's
was
great.
the rest of it was cement. Because he watered it and it grew.
Yeah.
I don't know how the cement grew, but it seemed to grow. You know, they like to water cement, the ethnics. And that was a joke, by the way, but it's a bit late.
Sorry, that took a little bit to land.
It's not.
No,
like,
I got it.
My kids, everyone tells me I should not do comedy. So, my dad used to grow tomatoes, cucumbers.
Nice.
And you name it.
Eggplant.
Eggplants, zucchini, lime, lemons, fig, grapes.
Wow.
Parsley, mint. I wouldn't say you even grew watermelon.
I think when a lot of the Greeks came to Australia, they were into market gardening, right?
Well, but the thing is, this is like what, let's say tomatoes is $5.99 a kilo. They thought, what was it back then? Probably 99 cents a kilo. They thought that was expensive. They thought, well, I can grow it. Why would I buy tomatoes? I can grow tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right? And my dad became so versatile that he knew, because everything was seasonal. Everything was seasonal.
That's fantastic.
But he also knew, he goes, there's this little corner in our backyard that seems to get the sun a lot.
Yeah.
So he used to test it, and he goes, I could grow tomatoes all year round. Because he just knew if he put it in that corner, he'd get
the tomatoes would
tomatoes.
proliferate.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is his mates used to come round, the families, and they used to go, look how big this tomato is, and everyone used to take photos of them. We'll send that to Greece. And through a true Polaroid, you print it off and you send it off to families. Say, look what John does in Australia, grows big tomatoes. I mean, God, it doesn't matter that he's struggling to pay his house off. He does a big tomato. And then, where was I going with this? Okay, so the thing is, my dad used to order manure. So all the so everyone knew in the neighbourhood, especially the Greeks didn't care, the Wogs never cared, but the Aussies cared because this big manure truck would be coming in, and they go, "What the hell
Here
is
comes
that
the
smell?"
manure truck.
And then my dad would be lighting off this manure right into our backyard. But then my mum realised, as I was a bodybuilder, I used to have 6 egg whites every morning.
Wow.
I mean, that's predominantly what they did, right?
Raw?
No.
Scrambled?
No. Just boiled, whatever it is,
Yeah.
boiled eggs, and then we throw away the yolk. Don't ask me.
Right.
It was just a myth. It was a bodybuilding thing.
Okay.
So 6 eggs whites every morning. That's
Yeah.
what I used to have, maybe with a piece of toast. I don't know. Then my mom goes, I forget it. And she talks to this manure guy, a chicken guy. And so my mum used to get pallets of eggs to be delivered.
Right.
And we used to, so my question was, do eggs need to be refrigerated?
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, some people do
my mum reckons-
refrigerate
my
them,
mum
and some
reckons
people
no.
don't.
My mum told me
I
no.
don't think I agree with your mum. I think
I
I'm
don't put
with
my
your
eggs in
mum.
the fridge.
I don't think you really need to put them in the fridge.
No.
No.
And
I
if you
agree
do,
with your
you
mum.
don't make a pavlova with them. Did you know that too?
Yes, because it sinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you put them in the fridge.
Do you make pavlova?
No, I've never
Yeah.
made. Yeah, I don't think I've ever made a
Oh,
pavlova.
well, here, let me tell you how to make a pavlova. You
Yeah.
want me to tell you how to make a
Yeah.
pavlova? It's very simple.
How do you make your pavlova?
Well, firstly, you have to have room temperature eggs.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work with cold eggs.
Yeah.
Room temperature. Mm-hmm. As many egg whites as you want.
Yeah.
No yolk. You can't have any yolk land in there. Caster sugar,
Yeah.
whatever, half a cup,
Yeah.
and a teaspoon of vanilla,
Nice.
and that's it. Blend, and
Simple.
it becomes a meringue.
Yeah.
And then you mold it,
Yeah.
and you put it in the oven
Yeah.
for 2 hours at 90 degrees, like 90.
Yeah.
Fan forced, let it run. Go and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And when you come back, you don't open the oven.
Yeah.
You put the oven back on, only on fan to suck the water out.
Ah.
And then
That's
open it
good.
about
So it
45
keeps-
minutes,
it
an hour
keeps
later.
nice.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's your pavlova.
Do you know what I like on pavlova? I'm just going through a real passion fruit stage.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
moment,
Well,
and they're in
that's
season.
normal passion
It's
fruit.
so nice on pavlova.
Yeah, my
isn't
mum
it?
used to do passion fruit.
Strawberries, passion fruit,
Yeah.
all the berries.
But that's what it was.
Some people put kiwi fruit on their pavlova.
I've actually sprinkled chocolate flakes on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do
I've
a bit
seen
of it.
that
I make cakes, but I don't eat them.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but I don't eat them.
Do you? So you
I like to eat
cooking?
them, but I don't eat them.
You like cooking?
I cook, but I like making desserts, and then I make them. And
That's
then
your thing?
Yeah, I
Desserts?
make tiramisu. I make sticky date pudding.
I love tiramisu. That's
Yeah.
absolutely my favorite.
Yeah. I like it. I find it very therapeutic.
Yeah, I find cooking therapeutic as
Yeah.
well. When I was writing all my recipe books, I was obviously cooking a lot. And then I went through a period where I didn't feel like cooking for a year. And now I'm back into cooking
Oh, yeah?
again. So, yeah, I'm really into I make a really nice savory mince. And my savory mince has so many veggies in it, like
Really?
all those high fiber veggies. So I do a beautiful mince, but I also, I put so many different, like probably 8 or 9 veggies in it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Maybe we should share recipes, but I don't know how healthy
Yeah.
my sweets are that I make.
Yeah.
Like the my tiramisu, there's, I add a little bit of alcohol to it, and it's got some.
Oh, what alcohol do you add? Is it
I do use sometimes a sherry.
a sherry?
I do use. I can't.
Brandy? Is it brandy?
Brandy.
in
I do use
tiramisu?
brandy. I have used Kahlua.
Kahlua,
or Bailey's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, and sometimes it can be a bit, adult-like, but it's good.
Yeah.
But
I bet you have a lot of people coming around wanting to test your desserts.
I don't have many people coming around, but when I
Yeah.
do make them, I usually go and give it to my kids.
They love it.
Or hand it to people because I like to. I think I find it
You
very
like to make
therapeutic.
it,
I like
yeah.
to make it. I like to eat it, but I don't. I don't eat it.
You don't
all the time.
overdo it with the
no.
sweets.
So you've done because you've done just because you mentioned it, you've done how many books? 11.
11, yeah, and
What are
I've
they?
got
What are they
number
ranged
12
from?
coming out soon.
Well, yeah.
So my first book is called Supercharged Food. So it was all when I used to work at the ABC and I was like head of kids music. So I was working with the Wiggles and everything
Were
like
you?
that. Had my dream job. I loved that job. But then I got sick with like an autoimmune sort of thing. And I left and I started my blog. And then I started to document my progress because I'd started to feel a lot better. And I had been on steroids and lots of different drugs like immunosuppressants and everything trying to work this autoimmune thing. And so basically I started cooking really simple foods and I started to feel better from the side effects of all the medications, and I slowly weaned myself off those medications. And I started to reintroduce different foods. So things that instead of a lot of antibiotics, I was doing more garlic. And so instead of anti-inflammatories, I was taking curcumin or eating curcumin in my food. And that actually really helped me over a period of time. And so I documented these on my blog, Supercharged Food, documented the recipes. And then Facebook had just started back then. It was like, I don't know, 15, whatever years ago. And so people from all over the world contacted me and said, wow, I had the same thing happen to me. I lost a lot of my hair. I lost a lot of weight. I got really tired. I got really sick. I had an autoimmune and I was put on all these medications. And then I looked at diet and I looked at food and I started to really, use food more as a medicinal aid in my life. And so then I started documenting and putting the recipes up on my blog. And from there, I wrote my very first recipe book. So the first recipe book is Supercharged Food. And it was sort of that journey into cooking simple foods to really look after the gut. And then I've got other books called Heal Your Gut. I've got a book called Eat Yourself Beautiful, which is more an anti-inflammatory style book, which I found that inflammation is the key to a driver to a lot of different diseases and disorders. So looking at gut and inflammation, they're my two passions in nutrition. I've got a kids book as well. And I also...
What's the kids book?
It's called Supercharged Food for Kids.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got a kids book. And yeah, I've got a book about long COVID because I did get long COVID last year.
What's long COVID?
So long COVID is when I had COVID, and after having COVID, I kind of just didn't bounce back like after having it for a couple of weeks, and it kept on going on longer and longer and longer, and I was getting all these different symptoms. Like I was getting brain fog, I was getting really, really tired, fatigued. Just all these different things were going on, and it's a thing called long COVID. So yeah, you get it after having COVID. But yes, I wrote a book about that and how to really bring yourself back through food and nutrition to help long COVID. And then I've got a new book coming out soon.
Which is?
It's coming out in July. I can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be it's it's around the food as medicine. Thing. And I
like writing?
I love Buddhism. I love writing.
Yeah?
I absolutely love writing. I do.
What did you do
enjoy
prior,
it.
did you say, with the Wiggles?
Yeah, so I was working as label manager at ABC Kids.
Okay.
So yeah, I was in the music industry.
You?
So yeah, I always wanted to work in the music industry. It was
Are
like
you a
a
musical
really
person? You sing?
I was in a band.
You were in a band?
Yeah, I'm not the best singer or anything, but I played congas and percussion in a band called the Love Monkeys.
All right.
So I always had a passion for music. And I was like, I just want to work in the music industry. So I started off at ABC. I was just working, making tea and coffee for about a year, getting yelled at in the record label thing, a dog's body basically. And then I worked myself up to head of my department. And then, it was really great. I was working on a lot of kids music, and I really did have the dream. I really miss it.
Yeah.
I still love it, and I've gotten back into music now. I just think music is so good for the soul and so good. I love all different types of music as well.
Yeah. No, my daughter's she's into theatre. She's done.
She?
Yeah, she's. I mean, they call them a triple threat.
Oh, is she a triple threat?
Yeah, she's a triple threat.
Wow.
Yeah, then you know what a triple threat is.
Yeah,
Singer,
I do, yeah.
actor,
Dancer. Singer, actor,
yeah,
dancer.
she's a triple threat.
Triple
Yeah,
threat.
she is. But
Wow.
she's young at the moment. She's just trying to find her way in it. But she's good. But she's
How
doing,
old is she?
She's going to be 23 this year.
Yeah, so she's still young. And
Yeah, but
is she acting?
she's done a few things. Meaning, she's done more theatre production stuff.
Yeah.
She's more into the theatre production stuff. But
Yeah.
it's not easy to follow your passion, your dreams. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be resilient, and
You do.
I tell people,
Trust the process.
you've got to, one, trust the process, and two, you've got to have Do you mind if I get a Turkish coffee, Chris? You got to have it's not. You got to have like a business mindset, meaning because you're working for yourself.
That helps, yeah.
So in other words, I say to her, me and you are the same, Ruby. I work for myself,
Yeah.
but I obviously in
Yeah.
business, but you are working for yourself. So you got to learn how to sell, kind of get yourself out there.
Do you think she has that entrepreneurial spirit from you?
If she doesn't, she's going to have to need it.
Yeah.
It's not so much being entrepreneurial to go and buy all properties and go do stuff like that or to invest. It's more about knowing how to enter a room and try to sell herself and get the role or be hungry for the role, or when the setback is when you get the no's, to be motivated with the no's to know how to go find the yeses. So there has to be, you have to can't be like, I'm trying to say, it's not so, I don't think successful people in the theatre world or the music world, I don't think they're as airy-fairy as you think are. They're very smart.
Yeah.
And they start understanding patterns and the rules of the game and working with people. And I think that's where people maybe get it wrong, that you just, it's you and you alone. So she has to really...
There are a lot of things, though. There are also timing, luck as well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But take it all.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You got to take it all. Timing,
I'm an
luck.
accidental entrepreneur.
Are you?
I never ever set out to run my business or do anything like that.
Tell us about
I
it.
just wrote the book and started my blog and out of passion and out of the desire to genuinely help other people, because I had been at rock bottom and I was like, I don't want anyone else, I'm an empath, to feel like this. I really want to help people and give them, some little tips and things like that to improve their health and well-being. So yeah, it was all by accident. It was honestly by accident.
And how did you find it?
It's been definitely a big learning curve running a business.
Yes.
Obviously, you have. When I was at ABC, it was good though because I had a good grounding. So I learnt about marketing, publicity, product development, all of those things. Even social media, just back then it was starting.
Yeah.
So I had learnt that, but I was applying it to other people and other bands and other brands. But then when it came to doing it for myself, it was quite natural because I had done it before. However, I wanted to do things completely differently. I'm like, I'm not going to schedule anything. I'm not going to have a content calendar. I'm not going to do all the things, the marketing things that people tell me to do. I'm just going to turn up and be myself, record a few little Instagram videos and just be really passionate and intentional. So, yeah, I flipped all of those rules that I'd learned on their head and just did it like you,
Yeah. Yeah. And how are you finding it?
I still love it. I still wake up every day and I'm driven. I live a very purpose-driven life. And I'm still driven with this desire to help other people and get them to maybe just see a different way. You don't always have to, obviously people need medication, but if there's a way for a long-term condition that you can help it through food as medicine, then I think it's always going to be better for your body in the long run.
100%, 100%. So what is a clinical nutritionist exactly?
Yeah, so what we do, we kind of bridge the gap between doctors and diet and lifestyle and nutrition. So when someone goes to the doctor, obviously they only get like 15 or 20 minutes and it's usually really rushed, and you might do some testing and then you'll get a prescription for something. Whereas we sit down and we do a full health history and we talk about other factors and we look at the body as a whole, not just one specific area. So that's what we do. Yeah. We get to know the person and we do it on many different levels. It's holistic.
And you're a whole food chef, which
Yes.
you mentioned with your books.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a quick question.
You have a lot of pieces of paper
I know,
there.
I do, don't I?
Got a lot of
I
questions.
know. I'm going to cover.
good.
Yeah. Well, I want to know a few myths that are happening out there at the moment. Seed oils.
Oh my
Are they
goodness.
good for you or not?
Oh, there's so many differing opinions on this.
Yeah.
And for every piece of research, there's a piece of research that refutes it.
Really?
I personally believe that certain ones can be quite inflammatory to the body. And obviously the key to my sort of philosophies are inflammation and gut health. So I always think that going back to the Mediterranean style diet, that olive oil is probably going to be the best oil. I really do. Remember when they were like, don't cook with it. It's got to, this burning point
Yeah,
and all of
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And now they've refuted all of that. And they're like,
Really?
cook with olive oil. You can cook with. So I think just going back to that, the Mediterranean style diet, when I look at all the research, and I've spoken to a lot of experts about this, scientists, professors, you name it, they disagree on so many things. But the one thing that they all agree on is that the Mediterranean diet is the best diet for health.
Really? The olive oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the olive oil.
Yeah.
Olive oil. Some fish, some tomatoes, brightly colored veggies, simple things like that. So, yes.
So,
Seed oils, I probably personally would try and avoid them. I use a bit of sesame oil in my cooking because it tastes really nice.
Yeah.
It's just about balance and moderation.
so
It's the seed oils in the bars and in the milks I think
is that the one
a
that's
problem.
dangerous? Okay. Because I see it in everything, but it just seems to be predominantly canola oil. They'll call it vegetable oil, but when you look at the ingredients, it's all canola.
And that can be inflammatory. And especially for someone with a sensitive gut and a sensitive system, it's probably better to go a bit cleaner.
Has the gut got a brain?
Yes. Well, the gut is connected to the brain.
Yeah,
so
but that's why
information
when you
superhighway.
Is that why we have that word? I've got a gut feeling.
Yeah.
How does
That's
that work?
actually right because, you've got this vagus nerve that, as I mentioned, runs from the brain down to the gut, and it sends messages up and down. So for every one message that your brain sends to your gut sends 10 back up.
Really?
So what's really in charge of your thoughts, feelings, a lot of those messaging comes from your gut.
Why?
Yeah. It's just
How?
the way that your body operates. So that messaging that goes from your gut to your brain is telling you, I'm satiated, I'm full, all those kinds of messages. There's so many different messages that go, and it's all part of a bigger process, and it works through different systems in the body as well. So the immune system, you've got an immune system that sits right there in your gut as well. So your gut immune system needs to be nice and thriving and healthy. So keeping a balance, as we mentioned before, of your good and bad bacteria helps to keep all those systems operating properly. And as we mentioned, the parasympathetic nervous system, the nervous system that the sympathetic one, I always say you got to feel sorry for, because that's the one where you're in fight or flight. And the parasympathetic one is the one where you're doing your breathing and, when you're feeling really relaxed. That is good because when you're eating and digesting, you're going to have a system that is doing things gently and slowly. But if you're eating in a rush and you're feeling stressed, then you're going to get, bloating, or you're going to just get pain after eating, or you're going to get some of the symptoms. So having dinner or eating in a relaxed state is much better, I believe.
What about when someone says, I don't have a good gut feeling about that person? How does that work?
Yeah. I think
Or are we
that
just making that up?
I like that actually, because the gut.
I don't know. My gut feeling tells me I don't trust him.
But
I don't trust her.
you feel it in your tummy, like you feel those butterflies sometimes, like
sometimes
before an
when I get bad
interview, or like
news,
before this podcast, I was like feeling a bit butterfly-ish.
Yeah.
It's good to tune in and listen to your gut and listen to that kind of. It's trying to communicate with you. It's smarter than we think. I think the gut is really smart. So. Yeah, I believe, it's partly a lot of things, isn't it? It's partly intuition, but it's partly the physical sensations as well. You can tune into those. Like you say, what did you say about sometimes you don't get a gut feeling about somebody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what is it about that? Like all people say that. My gut feeling about that person is maybe, like you said, it's very intelligent, but is it true that it takes a certain amount of time for your messaging to your brain to tell you you're full? Is that true? Some I just heard it's like 20 minutes or something. I don't know what. Like, is it true, or is that why it doesn't benefit to eat quickly? Because, is there such a signal that we're not allowing time to tell us we're full?
Yeah. So like you have your hunger hormone, obviously, and that kind of, when you are hungry, that sets off and you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I've got to eat. And then you eat. And some people don't have that off switch because their hormones are not working properly. Although the signaling is not working properly. So yes, that can happen. If that signaling is off, then you can just continue to eat. And then sometimes it's emotional eating as well. So you just keep on eating and eating and eating, and you can't kind of stop. I don't know if you have that, but sometimes you just
No.
can't. Some people can't sort of
Really?
stop eating. Yeah.
I think it's hard when you open up. Which I don't do much of, but I've heard that you open up a Tim Tam pack. It's very hard to stop at the first
It's
one.
hard. It is.
Even
Because
I
you
know.
get the taste for it, and then you're like,
Oh, I have another one. But I think that's with chocolate bars too. Can you
Yeah.
ever stop with a chocolate bar? Like I'm like, oh God, I'll keep going, and then you don't feel good after it.
I just did a whole podcast episode on chocolate,
and
I looked right into the dark side of chocolate, actually. And
the
I
dark
ranked,
side,
yeah.
or is it dark chocolate we're talking
No,
about?
both. And I
And-
ranked 10
and-
different chocolates
Go on.
from health food stores and the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting what I found, and how
What'd you
many of
find?
them have emulsifiers in, and how many of them are so bad for you and highly processed. But then there are some good ones
I
as
can
well.
imagine.
So yeah,
Who's a good one?
yeah.
We won't
so
talk
some
about
of the
the bad
good
ones.
Yeah, so some of the good ones are ones like
Just in case they sponsor us in the future.
yeah. We're going to do that. So I have a whole top 10 ranking, but
Go.
some of them that were kind of up there were things called Panna. Panna was kind of up there. Loco Love was sort of up there as well. I looked at Lint.
Yeah.
That has some lawsuits going on in America at the moment for heavy metals, for lead and cadmium.
Yep.
So I was going to include that one, but then after that, even though in Australia we don't have any actions happening at the moment, you just don't know, do you? Because it's the same company, even though it's probably localized here. I also looked at Old Gold, 70%.
Yeah.
And out of all the supermarket versions, the Old Gold 70% kind of came up on top.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That's
the
just
one
enough
that kind
dark
of-
chocolate.
and you only need to really have one or two pieces of that because it's quite strong. Don't you think when you eat it, the 70%, it's
Yeah.
quite good. You wouldn't necessarily eat a whole packet of like dark chocolate, would you? I don't know.
I think the 70% is just on the money.
Yeah.
I use it for my tiramisu actually,
Yeah.
but the Old Gold, yes.
That's the one that's sort of the bestest
Really?
sort of supermarket one that we found. The only thing with that one is it's made by Cadbury, and Cadbury use emulsifiers in most of their chocolate bars. And on the label of Old Gold 70, there's no emulsifiers stated. But I have a sneaky suspicion that maybe it does. So I've reached out to Cadbury to find out, and I'm waiting for them to respond to me on
my God.
Instagram.
They're probably going to try to shy away from you. What about...
Ignore me.
Yeah. What about... I've heard, I don't know if this is true, maybe... Is Chobani yogurt that good for you?
Is it Chobani?
Chobani, is that the one? Yeah, Chobani. I've heard there's some kind of lawsuits going overseas.
I've heard that there's lawsuits overseas, so
Yeah.
I would be staying away from that one. For me,
Damn it, it's low
I
in
think-
calorie, high in
I
high
know
in
that whole protein thing, but the additives that they use in that are not good. And also, I think going for a natural Greek yogurt, there's so many great Greek. You would know Greek yogurts.
But
They're
is it
really
Greek?
good.
Is Greek cow, sheep, or lamb?
I don't know.
See, because the thing is, I think true Greek
Cow.
yogurt is sheep.
Is it? Oh, I love sheep yogurt.
Yeah,
actually,
even though it's
there's some good.
expensive. Damn
Actually,
it,
yeah,
it's
there's some good brands in the supermarkets
Yeah.
that do the sheep yogurt. Can't remember. Bar Organics, I think.
I asked an old man
They
who's
do the
Greek in
sheep.
front of the yogurt fridge. I
Yeah.
quizzed him. I go,
Did you?
yeah, I said Greek yogurt,
Yeah.
authentic Greek yogurt. What is it?
Authentic, yeah.
And he goes, sheep.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, because we can get cow yogurt and just call it
Yeah.
Greek yogurt. So
right.
I think a true Greek yogurt is sheep. I thought it was lamb at one stage,
Yeah.
but no, it's actually
Sheep, right.
Yeah.
I do love something more gentle about, maybe it's the less lactose content in it that I find really palatable. The other thing, what else did I learn? I've just been doing a lot of research in yogurts at the moment. And sometimes the yogurts that say on the front are really healthy, and when you look at the back, it's like probiotic rich. There aren't that many different strains, but there are some yogurts that have more probiotic strains. So the first thing that I would do is look and go, has it got sugar? And if it's got sugar, I'd probably put it back. And then I'd go for something simple like a Greek yogurt. And if it's got added probiotics in there, I'd probably use that one because that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And kefir is probably my
Which one?
number one. It's called kefir. So it's like fermented. Yeah, very. It's got a lot of probiotics in it, so that's kind of good too. You can buy that in the supermarket.
Is it better that the ingredients on the back of the pack say less? Because I know when I look
I think
at the
so.
back of the Greek, like the sheep yogurt,
Yeah.
there's 3 ingredients. I think
Yeah.
it's like...
Is that the green one? The green and
Yeah,
white?
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's the
love
green
that
one.
one.
I think it's... I forget who it's by.
Barrenbauer Organics, I think. Is it Barrenbauer Organics?
I think so,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they have that one.
And if you read the back, I think it literally says sheep milk, sheep culture. I don't
Yeah.
know. And then I think that's maybe, I don't know what the third one is.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think that's got to be the cleanest.
That's got to be the cleanest. Yeah. And you feel
Just
good after
unfortunate
eating
that
it.
it's like $14.
Just all the ones with sugar in them.
I
I
know.
just think it kind of defeats the purpose of having a yogurt with good probiotics when you're feeding your bad bugs with the sugar. So it's just, it cancels itself out, really.
What about, well, you know what, let's talk about peptides. Because you had a problem with Andrew Huberman. And if Andrew Huberman's watching or listening, come on the show. But, and we spoke about that. We spoke about, the longevity people.
Yeah.
And the conversation.
The wellness bros, I call them.
The wellness bros. But you know what I found? And I don't know what this is called. Chris probably, I don't know if you know what it is. Maybe you
Chris
would.
might know.
Oh, Chris knows everything. But we just use Chris to bag him a few times. There's apparently, and I wish I knew the name, apparently aging, there's a certain cell in our body, and I don't know how they pictured it, but it looks like something that kind of floats around.
Yeah.
And every time these cells start to die off, because they can't be reproduced, that creates aging.
Yeah.
Do you know what the technical word
I
of those
can't
things?
remember the technical
Do you know
word.
what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, though. but
They look like filters.
Yeah.
And apparently, each time these are dying off,
I think they're called, I actually think they could be called AGE, like age.
really,
I think so.
Look it up, Chris.
Let's look that up.
look it up. An aging,
Age cells.
I don't know what it's called. I don't know, fossil or something in our body. And someone realized that is the epicenter of aging, where when they start dying off,
Yes.
that's you're aging. And to try to keep those alive is predominantly the only chance for longevity, if that makes sense. I don't know how do you keep those alive.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris will look that up, and if he finds it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But peptides, there's
I
a
have
lot of
an issue
noise
with
right now
peptides.
in the health and performance world. Yeah, around peptides.
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman,
Yeah.
one of the most influential voices in health, well, whatever you want to call him, has spoken positively about peptides. You've challenged that publicly. What's your position?
My position is that the research is not out there yet. There are some peptides with only animal studies. There are not, I don't think, any with human studies.
Right.
Peptides could be a good thing, perhaps. However, we don't know the long-term ramifications of them. Also, this is my issue with peptides. Peptides are manufactured in different places, and there is a purity issue with them. So I know a lot of people, since putting that post up on Instagram, have contacted me and said, I took peptides. I got so sick from them.
Really?
They were full of really unnatural ingredients. They made me so unwell.
Wow.
So people are buying them because they're not FDA approved. People are buying them on the sort of black market. And so they're buying these things that are sometimes synthetically made that are full of really unnatural ingredients, and it's harming them. They do more harm than good. So that's why they're not regulated, and they're not approved for human consumption.
But do you trust regulators? The reason is, I'll just say, we've got a lot of things regulated that is bad for us.
Yes, that is true.
And
But we have research around things as well.
Do we?
Yeah, we do have research.
Do they give us everything
At
we
the
need to
moment,
know?
it's so new, it's
Yeah.
really hard to tell what it's going to be in the future. Some peptides, I must say, I think the research is starting to come out now are quite good. So, for example, GLP-1s, which is your Ozempics, Mounjaros, those kinds of things, they have some properties in them whereby they are anti-inflammatory and they act on different cells in the body, and they're really good for people with obviously with diabetes, insulin resistance. Sometimes we're seeing that in clinic, I'm seeing that people on GLP-1s are actually really improving, and it's a great thing to
Improving
do
in
to
what
get
area?
them. They're losing weight.
Yep.
Their insulin sensitivity is getting better. They're feeling better. They're feeling less tired. The brain fog is helping. It's helping a lot of things. So some peptides in terms of GLP-1s, if they're prescribed by a doctor and you're, continually having blood tests to check your liver and kidneys and things like that, sometimes they're a good thing, right? But the peptides like BPC 157 and
Seems
some
like
of their
everyone's talking about
testosterone,
157, yeah.
all the other ones that, particularly the ones that Andrew Huberman promotes, there is no proper research on them, and a lot of them are really dirty and they have no efficacy and they're not pure. So I wouldn't take them. That's my thing on peptides.
No, okay. Yeah, my friend GLP-1. I think my friend wants me to research this with him. I'm
Yeah.
training a guy. I'm trying to help him. I'm getting in shape. We're doing okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it still needs a bit more commitment than the GLP-1. I think that's the problem, don't you think?
Yeah.
We straight away jump to medications or supplementation or peptides. And I think to myself, if someone is having a problem losing weight, of course, if you give them Ozempic or even if you give them GLP-1, but have you fixed the core problem? Like,
But
it's like
sometimes
doctors.
the core problem, if it is insulin resistance and diabetes, is an actual thing that's not working well in your body, and these medications do help
Okay.
in those things, and they do help you get on track. And then once you've lost the weight, it's really all about doing the steps and keeping the weight off, and it helps them to learn to be healthier.
I hope they can learn, though, because I
Yeah.
find that, like I said, people will say, like a doctor will give you something for the problem, but not know the core
The cause,
root
yeah, the root
of the
cause,
problem.
and that's
Yeah,
what.
and I
Yeah,
think that's
it is. You're right about that.
I think
absolutely.
that, and can I just mention, can diet help with testosterone,
Production?
menopause,
Yes.
estrogen?
Yeah.
Because we are all seemingly damned at the moment. And we're going to go to steroids next. So I'm going to mention steroids.
Steroids.
Yeah.
Scary.
I know. We're going to have to talk about steroids. It's the bodybuilding
Yeah.
podcast. But the thing is, I did my bloods a while back. And same as manifestation, I'll be damned if I lose my testosterone.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So if you tell me I need TRT, I'll say no.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm not going to. I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to work to keep it mentally
Yeah.
and do practices
Yeah.
also. But I'm not going to go to the narrative. I'm 57 years old and you lose your testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've convinced the majority. You're not going to convince me. So, but I'll do measures to
Yeah.
do it.
And that's good.
So my measures are good food,
Yep.
going to the gym,
Yes.
and being physical.
Yep.
So in the morning, I'm not saying this gives me testosterone, but in the morning, one of my principles is I get on my push bike and I ride to the cafe to get my coffee. I could drive there,
Yeah.
but I ride my pushy,
Yeah, that's good.
and then I go for a walk, come back, and I
Yeah.
ride my bike back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but I go to the gym and I try to push the best I can. Well, now as a 57-year-old, I try to do a little bit progressive overload, like
Yeah.
test
right.
myself out a little bit, like
Yeah.
on, just trying to do a personal best in a way, even if it's just 2 kilos heavier or 1 kilo
Yeah.
heavier or a few extra reps.
Is that like resistance training?
Resistance is resistance
Yeah.
training. And I feel that I wanted to ask you, with food, and even now, women, menopause, menstrual cycles,
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about estrogen
Yeah.
and testosterone, and this brain fog, because I feel like I've got some brain fog too.
Yeah.
But I think my brain fog is coming from my phone. I think my brain fog is something
It
else.
can also be neuroinflammation as well. If you've had a virus and then you're recovering from the virus, you've still got a bit of neuroinflammation that can give you brain fog as well.
Okay. So tell me about the stuff
So
I just
for
mentioned
women-
for women. Food.
Yeah.
How can food help us?
Food can definitely help. Definitely in menopause, because I'm in menopause.
Yes.
I'm kind of towards the end of menopause.
Okay.
I'm turning 60.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things for menopause for women, for estrogen, and for menopause is protein, actually, and dairy. Dairy is really important when you're in menopause. So I would say dairy and protein, and then having, I call it the 4-3-2-1 approach for menopause. So 40% protein, 30% veggies, 20% carbs, and 10% good fats. So 4-3-2-1. So if you put your plate like that, flaxseed is another thing that's really good for menopause, especially hot flushes. Food, you can definitely help. I'm not on any, HRT or anything like that myself.
Yeah.
I'm not against it for people, but personally, I just do more flaxseed in my diet, protein, calcium, and I find that really helps as well. So yes, you can definitely. I feel like you can definitely do it with food. But obviously, estrogen and testosterone declines with age, so we can't fight everything with aging. However, doing the little things that we're talking about here can really help.
You said protein,
Yes,
veggies, carbs, fats.
Yeah, 4-3-2-1. 40%,
but I want to know
30%,
the
20%,
difference
10%.
between the carbs and the veggies, because carbs are veggies, kind of,
Yeah.
aren't they? But
Yeah, you can get carb.
But what carbs are you talking about? What's the
So carbs, like a bit of brown rice or some couscous or some quinoa or that kind of thing. Yeah. You do need carbs in your diet, I believe, especially for brain fog. Like some people go, you got to go all protein, keto, paleo, but I feel like the body does need a good balance. And when you're balanced and all those things are working together, you're satisfied, and you do feel better. I'm not really into the complete keto diet, personally. It's quite taxing on the body, having a lot of protein.
Is keto more meat diet? Is that what it is? What's keto?
Yeah, keto is like
Did you find
low
about
carb,
our
no carbs.
cells?
I couldn't find anything. He was like showing me stem cells and all that. But
Yeah, I think they're called AGEs,
Maybe look up AG.
AGE ones or something.
But is keto?
But we can cut that bit out, right?
Why do we need to cut it out for?
Because I didn't know the answer.
Do you have to know everything?
No, I don't know everything.
We can cut that out too if you like. We just know everything. No, of course we do.
Yeah,
So
so
keto.
yeah,
What is it?
So
Exactly.
keto,
Is
yeah,
it- yeah?
keto is like a ketogenic diet. So you're eating protein and you're not eating carbs and
Like fats?
sugars
More-
and things
it's
like
more
that.
fats,
So it's more
protein?
protein and fats.
Okay,
Yes. But I think balance is best. 4-3-2-1. That's
All
the way
right.
I look at it.
So yeah, diet, testosterone, it can help us out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can definitely help us.
And
yeah.
obviously estrogen and
Yeah.
I find, but I feel what I'm seeing, and I think, I don't know, but I think myself, because my daughter says to me sometimes, she says, "Why are you looking at that person for?" And I'm going, "Do I really look at people?" And I do. I kind of look at people, and I do because of bodybuilding. I look at symmetry.
Yes.
I look at proportion. I look at. I can't help it, right?
Yeah.
But as I see people aging, and this is what I wanted to ask you, as people age, I'm seeing such a quick deterioration. I'm looking, unfortunately, I'm looking at elbows. I'm looking at their knees. I'm looking at loose skinned. I'm looking at bowed-legged. I'm looking at hunching over. I'm looking at their face.
Yeah.
I don't mean to, but I'm kind of writing notes for myself and wondering.
Yeah.
But the one thing I saw and I told you about my dad, and Alzheimer's, and
Alzheimer's is just rates are increasing.
yeah,
quite
Alzheimer's
rapidly
rates are
with
increasing.
Alzheimer's.
What else is it? Dementia,
Heart disease.
heart disease. And the admittance of people in nursing homes, And even when my dad, the one thing I feel like, unfortunately, he's gone, and I don't know, and I couldn't help him because I think I was going through some hard times of my own. But I just saw how his diet changed. And he'd be having Special K for dinner, sometimes ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
And even just eating Greek yogurt, which was not enough, with a lot of sugar on top. And I'd say to him, Dad, like, why don't you cook something? He goes, I'm by myself. Why would I cook? There's nobody here. But I'm feeling that is happening more and more with people.
Yeah, I think so too.
And what I'm seeing in nursing homes is the food is crap.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
disgusting.
And in hospitals
It's plastic
as well. It's
yeah,
so bad.
it's
I
like
did a
I
petition.
look at this piece of meat which has got gravy dripping all over it and a few veggies. And I think it's a fallacy. Like, how can anybody accept this and feed these people?
I did a petition to change the menu in New South Wales hospitals. It was a really big petition.
I wish you'd
and
done.
I did get I did it a few years ago now. But I did get some change, which was fantastic because the media picked up on it and was on the project and like a lot of shows and things like that.
Okay.
They talked about this petition that I did because I went to visit my brother-in-law in hospital who had cancer, who sadly passed away. But his on the plate, everything was white.
Yeah.
It was chicken, it was white potato, everything on the plate was white. And then they gave him this dessert, which was a dessert with so many preservatives and additives. So I did some research into it, and I did challenge the Minister of Health at the time to live off hospital food for a week. She didn't take me up on the offer. However, they did start to change the menu with pressure. They said that they were changing it anyway, but there was a lot of pressure. But I also looked into a study in Scotland, actually, and this hospital was using more local ingredients. So they were getting local yogurts, and it wasn't more expensive because normally it's a cost thing. They're like, they rationalize it by saying, oh, it's a cost thing. And they were doing it for the same or less money, buying local ingredients and changed the menu in their hospital, and it was going really well. So I really don't think that, budgeting and things like that. I feel like we can if we source things properly. But the problem with hospitals is that they get these contracts with, the manufacturers of food, and they just stick to those contracts, and a lot of it is the cheapest way to do it, and it's the lowest grade ingredients. But you would think that they would try and do more local things and better food so that the people would get better and get out of hospital quicker. It does not make sense to me, and in nursing homes it's quite similar, I think.
Well, that's what concerns me with our food administration or drug or whatever it is called. But people, like I said, people in the food in nursing homes. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, to think entrepreneurial is to fight the system to which would be a great business, but a great moral business by feeding people good food and then taking over the system and then going to the Maldives. But what I'm trying to say to you is, in other words, you could be quite successful in business by doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think
And what I'm saying to you is that, and that was a comedy, by the way. I know it's not funny, but
Maldives.
The Maldives. I was trying to think that you just go to the Maldives because your business is thriving. But there's definitely something about what they're doing inside these. I just see people, unfortunately, become lost, childlike, and the food is bad.
It's very sad.
And I think that's
that.
what's creating dementia, and I think that's what's creating the progression of Alzheimer's and a lot of things is our food and how we feed the brain.
Too. I agree. I think the food has, definitely a really big food environment, obviously genetics as well, but a combination of factors definitely do.
What do you think genetics does play a part?
I think it does, I think it does.
Yeah.
I think genetics definitely does. However, definitely diet is a key one as well. Diet and nutrition and exercise as well. There's something that I want to do. We're talking about nursing homes, and you were saying that you have 2 dogs and you love animals. I love animals too. I have a dog and a cat. And I just saw something recently, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to take cats into nursing homes because animals are so special and they can really regulate the nervous system. And there are a few people doing it. They're taking cats or dogs into nursing homes and spending time with the residents in there, and they're just making them feel so good. And yeah, I definitely want to do something with animals and something in the nursing home space. I think it'd be really good, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I think I do. I don't. I mean, my dogs will be pretty good at it, but no, I think
they're doing it with cats as well a lot. That just the power of connecting to another.
I just feel
part of the animal kingdom.
But I really feel that if we feed these people correctly, we'll bring them back.
Yeah, I think food is honestly. My whole thing is food is medicine. So
yeah, of course
I'm with you all the way.
I just feel once I just feel they'll wake up, giving them good veggies,
good nutrition,
fiber, good protein. Cut the custard out, get rid of that.
All the desserts with all the numbers
and all the things. Just proper food, proper soup.
Yeah, soup is really good as well, especially obviously.
Yeah.
Bioavailable and I don't think it's too expensive to make.
No, soup is amazing.
Yeah, I cook soup all the time. I do batch cooking and then I just put it in my freezer. So through the week, I'll just have soup or my savoury mince that's what I do.
I don't want to go too entrepreneurial. I'm going to start thinking how we can get soup in these nursing homes because soup is great.
Yeah, soup is good.
Soup is good. And what do you think of steroids?
What do I think of steroids?
Yeah, like for gut health, microbiome, does it complicate things, enhance things? Does one need stricter, more nutrient discipline protocols, things to be aware of? Because it seems like a lot of the youth today, especially in my culture, in our gym culture, I mean,
Are you talking about anabolic steroids?
Yeah, anabolic steroids. Yeah, anabolic steroids. Yeah.
Not like prednisone and.
What's prednisone?
It's a steroid that you get when you have inflammation.
No,
we're talking about anabolic.
No, we're talking about anabolic steroids. We're talking about.
So
we're talking about testosterone. We're talking about DECA, whatever it is.
I think the less intervention, the better, and the more that you can do things naturally, the better.
Yeah, because a lot of our youth are taking steroids, and they're not even competing. Well, once upon a time, when I did it, not that I did I did do a cycle of steroids at 49. By the way, I'll let you know that happened. I decided I wanted to try it. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. I also had a bad time because I took too much my second time and I realized less is more. But to cut a long story short, up until 49, I just trained at the gym, went to the gym, whatever. And then at 49, I was turning 50. I said, you know what, let me do a little bit of a cycle here. And it did create disruptions. It did. It's when you become abusive with it, one.
Yes.
But two, I've never touched it since. Not because I'm worried about it. I just thought I could do better at the gym and eat better. But with steroids, it seems like our youth seemingly are taking that just for gym culture, not so much to be on stage.
Yeah, I had no idea about the youths I see when I think about
20-year-old
steroids,
boys.
You see,
but do you know how big it is in the women's competitive?
No.
Massive.
I don't. I'm not aware of that.
Women are taking steroids.
With steroids, you said about the microbiome. Yes, it does disrupt the microbiome. It disrupts that beautiful, delicate balance in there, and it strips the body of good bacteria. So always going to be a bad thing. The other things are the mental health implications: steroid-induced psychosis, roid rage, those kinds of things as well, which I've read a lot about and see a lot about that in the news. I just saw a documentary on Netflix about that, actually, a guy that was taking a lot of steroids and ended up, it wasn't a good situation. So, yes, I personally would not recommend steroids, personally, especially in particular in regards to the gut and the microbiome. I just think once you start on that slope, it's really slippery. Try and do things naturally. Definitely the roid rage is a bit scary, isn't it? Is it a real thing? Have you noticed, like in your industry? Have you noticed anyone that's...
No, it's known. Yeah, no, roid rage is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, right?
Yeah, it is a thing. But I think if you put together a cocktail of the gym environment, the culture, and then you've got steroids, and then you've got the social culture of cocaine, ecstasy, and alcohol, and you're taking steroids, you've got the biggest road rage you've ever.
Really?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you've got this amazing cocktail. Because I think, firstly, what steroids do, well, it just enhances everything.
But I've heard it doesn't enhance everything. Like in the bedroom, I've heard that it doesn't enhance performance.
Oh, that's a good question.
I've read that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I have heard that it can make you impotent. I have heard it can shrink your balls.
That's what I've
Yeah, I've
read
heard that.
as well.
But myself,
Speaking from
Wait.
personal experience.
it actually enhanced everything.
Right,
It really
okay.
took, without trying to, like, I guess it was just the mindset, and obviously I've not done it for, haven't done it for decades. I did it for 1 year. I took 2 cycles in a year.
Yeah.
I did one for 8 to 12 weeks.
And what changes did you notice? Did you notice that obviously people take it to get bigger muscles, right? The guys in the gym.
Yeah, what I noticed was an absolute massive strength. Like my my final sets, like whatever was my final set, like, oh my God, that was really heavy. That was my warm-ups. That was like, oh my God, how strong am I? So enormous strength. Recovery was quick.
Endurance as well. would you say?
Endurance. I'm 83, 84 kilos now, and I'm probably a little fluffy. I was like 90 kilos, not fluffy. So it was a bit different.
I can't believe that women take it in competitive
Yeah, they do.
bodybuilding.
They do, yeah, it's big. And I also felt a little bit invincible. And
Okay.
personally, I mean, I think it improved my sex drive. But like I said, when I did the second cycle, I lost my appetite. It went too far. And then when I lost my appetite, I felt tired, more stressed.
Yeah.
And then that affects everything, I guess.
Yeah.
So in other words, there's a fine balance of less is more. But I did realize through both times in that 1 year that I did it, I realized, Steve, you didn't get your diet right. You were not disciplined in your diet. You weren't disciplined in your fitness. And occasionally I still go out and drink some alcohol, right? So the thing, and then I realized, imagine if you had all that right, what you would have achieved. But then again, have you done that right and not needed steroids? So I've kind of looked at that now.
And maybe you were feeling, not as hungry, you lost your appetite and tired because of the effects that it had on your gut.
That's right. That's what I'm saying that's what it did.
Yeah.
And I haven't had, again, mind over matter, I've decided to. I've had colitis.
Yeah.
And that brought it on as well.
Oh my goodness.
It killed
Yes,
me.
absolutely.
It really brought it on. And I'm stubborn. And that's the thing. So what I learned was I didn't double down on the good things. I didn't double down on my fitness. I didn't double down on my food. I didn't double down on my rest. I didn't double down on how I trained. And I said, imagine if I just do that first. That's kind of like everything. If you're going to the gym, which is great, but imagine if you ate well to help you go to the gym.
Yeah.
Helped you recover.
And also that you were resting and not over-exercising afterwards so that you have time for your body to recover.
And grow.
And not pushing yourself too much. Like, I think pacing is really important with, in competitive things. And
if people told me there's food, rest, and the gym, and you have to give up 2 items and only keep one. 2, have a good physique. Like you're thinking, well, to have a good physique, you either food, rest, and gym. The 2 I'd give up is the gym and rest, not food.
Yeah.
Because I believe with food that you can do stretches at home. You can do things that helps your body grow by feeding it accordingly.
Exactly.
And have a great symmetrical
And
body.
it's also just not about physicality
That's
either.
right.
It's also like food and the mind.
That's right.
And,
So that's what I'm saying is if you took food out, I wouldn't be able to grow muscle.
No.
If I
you
took food out,
you couldn't do anything.
I wouldn't be able to rest. But if I took rest and food and gym out, well, I guess the food will help me in that aspect of things, and I don't need them. Like I will rest if I eat well.
Important, and not just for health and wellness. It's also community, going out, you know, meeting people, having a beautiful meal, your father doing his market garden, you connecting with him on that, him sending photos overseas back to Greece. Food is so beautiful and can be such a great connecting point and positive thing in your life. So yeah, let's embrace more food, less steroids, less gym bros, less wellness
peptides,
bros, less peptides.
But yes, women are taking steroids. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, scary.
In a big way. I didn't know that. But
I didn't know that. It's not my world, but
no, but it's not your world. But what I've heard.
I'm shocked by that.
That is shocking. And what is amazing is a lot of people are giving up certain things that might be taken away from it, and that's childbirth and things like that, like fertility. So just for a plastic trophy, it's scary.
It is scary.
Like I said, the gym
and that is quite intense and quite it feeds back to that sense of self and trauma.
100%. It is.
You know.
What about fasting? Is fasting good?
I think fasting can be good in some cases. It's really good to give your gut a rest. Finishing dinner earlier is all really good, so you can have that nice rest and
like say
for your
6
gut.
p.m.
Like 6 p.m.
6
is
p.m.
really
used
good,
to be
and
dinner
then
once
having
upon
a
a time.
good break between that.
Got 12 hours for
Fasting for women in menopause, that's where it gets a little bit problematic. Men do well on fasting, but for women, it can be a bit problematic. So I think having a good rest between dinner and breakfast is good, but going for long fasts can really mess up your insulin levels. You can get insulin sensitivity, and hormonally, it's not good for women. But if you're a guy and you're doing it and you want to sort of lose weight, I think sometimes it can be beneficial, but not too long exaggerating fasts. Anything extreme.
How long is long? Like what's a good fast time?
I think anywhere from long is 16 hours above. Yeah, 16 hours above.
Anything inside.
So anything inside that is okay. Like 12 hours is fine, I think. Yeah.
So 6 p.m. last meal, 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6.
You get up, maybe you have something.
Yeah, I think that's a good time to give your tummy a rest.
Do they have the same protocols, men and women, in fasting, you think? You said something about menopause and men.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a difference.
I think for women it's really important to do fasting. If you're doing fasting, when you are eating, to eat really nutrient-rich foods and getting enough protein and getting enough calcium and the beneficial things that you need. A lot of people who are fasting and doing intermittent fasting resort to low-calorie snack bars and things like that to get their calories down, and they're not good for you. So having real food if you're fasting is better, and having good ingredients so that you're satiated is really good. That's a good way to do it, but also definitely not fasting for too long.
And I've blood type diets. Is that true?
That's interesting. That's kind of old school, isn't it? Eat right for your blood type diet.
Is there such a thing? I know it was back in the 90s, wasn't it?
Back in the 90s.
People talking about that.
I think I don't know an awful lot about the blood type diets, to be honest, but I think definitely if you have some kind of constitution, you know how some people do better on cooked foods, some people are really good on raw foods. I think it's just about learning your own constitutions and eating towards that and not subscribing to a specific locked down type of diet.
What's your constitution?
My constitution is, well, in Ayurveda, there are three. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and I'm a Vata, which means for me, grounding foods are really good. So if I've been on a trip and I come home, having a stew, having a casserole, having a soup, that always makes me feel really grounded and really good. People who are high energy, go to the gym a lot, that kind of thing, they're more Pitta. So cooling foods are good for them. Cucumbers, smoothies, things like that. People are slow moving, heavier set. I think foods that boost your metabolism are good. So things like spices, chili, things to speed you up. So if you check into your own, you would probably be a Pitta with a bit of Vata in you. So cooling foods. But then sometimes when you're feeling a little bit off balance and off center, grounding foods are good. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I like that. The bread discussion.
Yes.
Is it sourdough? That's what we should be pointing towards. And what is flour today? What is wheat?
Oh, my goodness.
And gluten. How has it become what it's become? Because in some places in Europe and the world, we don't seem to experience the same bloating effects.
Yeah, I think it's all the additives in the breads that are making you get the effects. It's not necessarily the gluten. A lot of people are saying that they can't have gluten when they can actually have gluten. For me, the best style of bread is probably, my favorite is like a rye.
Right.
A rye sourdough is good if you want to feed the good gut bugs. Rye really feeds those beneficial bacteria in the gut. So a good rye sourdough is probably my favorite kind of bread to eat.
Rye sourdough.
Yeah.
And we've done seed oils. I'm just thinking, what else was I wanting to ask you?
Ask me anything.
I know.
I hope it's okay.
What about the use of pesticides?
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
Yeah,
I think
that
is the thing that I think is wrecking our health.
Is that wrecking our microbiome?
I really think it is. I think that our body cannot process all the synthetic chemicals, and our immune cells, our immune systems are becoming dysregulated with all of these crazy ingredients that we're told is food, but they're not really food. They're synthetic and chemically laden and made and produced. I feel like that is one of the biggest issues in our diet. Absolutely no to pesticides for me.
And why? Like if I came to you and I said, I've got a great idea. And you said, what is it, Steve? And I said, why don't we get a stick and we create this sugary, absolute, got nothing nutrients in it.
Yeah.
And we put it on a stick as a ball and we wrap it and we sell it to people.
Like a chopper chop.
Yeah. You go, Steve, that definitely ain't going to work. But it works. Why has our Food Administration, why do we allow to sell items like that in our supermarkets to our kids that absolutely have zero anything in them?
Yeah. I mean, this is something that really...
But how do they pass? How do they pass these types of food into becoming mainstream?
I know. It's so frustrating to me,
You know what I mean?
the whole thing.
Yeah.
However...
Like what's a Tic Tac?
Yeah. It's just sugar and
that's what I'm saying.
artificial ingredients.
Yeah.
It's citric acid, which is 90 to 99% of citric acid, which is in a lot of things. If you look at drinks, if you look at protein powders, that's a manufactured ingredient, which is manufactured on mold, which is sensitive people are just like, they can't have citric acid. It's in everything. So, yes, I think that the more it's funny though, when you look at like, you know how there was a big expose on meats like bacon, and then they've got additives in them that are carcinogenic. We are still advertising them on the back of buses. We are still advertising those foods, which is so crazy. It's almost like the system hasn't caught up yet. But I think people are very, very smart and they know, and they're making healthier choices. I think as a community, we need to try and go more towards real foods and whole foods and less of the processed. If the demand's not there, then, you know, hopefully we'll see. But it's a minefield, and it's very complicated and difficult, and to go up against them is hard. And a lot of it is to do with money. Money is at the root of that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Creatine.
Creatine?
Yeah.
Yes. I take it sometimes.
I
take it for energy.
What's
5
good about
milligrams.
creatine?
Creatine is really good for energy. So it can be good. However, the research is still not up to date yet on creatine.
Well, they said it gives you great cognitive behavior. Is it true?
It can help. Yes, it can. It can help. But everything in moderation. Even creatine.
Yeah. What do you think about creatine and the fact they've got it as gummies? So if you're only supposed to have, let's say, 5 milligrams per day, maximum maybe 2. 2 times 5 milligrams, right? What happens if you get the whole pack of gummies? Like is one...
Then you're getting a lot of...
That's what I'm saying is one is... I'm assuming... I haven't looked at it carefully. Would one gummy be 5 milligrams? That's why they've done it, to simplify things for you. But if that's delicious...
If it's a gummy, you're not going to be getting a therapeutic dose.
No.
In any shape or form. The other thing with creatine is there are different types of creatine. There's one that comes from China, which is predominantly the main source of creatine, which is cheaper, not pure, really not a good investment. There's one that comes from Germany, which is called CreaPure.
Yep.
CreaPure is out of stock at the moment. There's one more source that I've read about recently that is coming out of India, which might be, I think it's about 96% pure. But the everyday one, the one from China, is really not good for you. So
why?
You have to be, because it's full of impure ingredients. And remember when they were putting melamine in the baby formula?
Yeah.
It could have any kind of filler in there that we don't know about. They're not fully regulated or tested. So
they don't tell us where the creatine comes from, do they really?
No, but if it's from China,
but how
avoid
do you know?
it, stay away. Well, what I do is I go into the TGA website and I have a look at the supplement. If I'm taking a supplement, I don't take many supplements, but if I do, then I look at the ingredients list. And then I go to the excipient list. So you can look on the TGA website. You go to the excipient list and it will say things like maltodextrin, citric acid, and you can see where they're manufactured. Wow. So that's what I do. I go a bit deeper.
With brands as well? We'll show you the brands?
Yep. Yes, you can go to the brands. They have to show the excipients that they have. However, sometimes some companies are a little bit naughty, let's say.
Protein's become expensive.
Protein's expensive.
Very expensive at the moment.
Yeah. You're better off eating a piece of chicken.
Yeah. What's better, whey, isolate, or casein?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the isolate is probably not as good.
Really?
I'm not a protein
They push
expert,
that, don't they?
They
push that as the premium.
Yeah. The best protein, I think, is probably some kind of either plant-based protein, like a rice protein.
People act like that's not good, but I know.
I think the soy proteins, personally, if you are hormonally challenged, sometimes the soy can affect you.
What about pea protein? Pea.
I think pea is really good. However, if you do have gut issues, sometimes pea protein is problematic because it can make you gassy. So I think
I found the pea protein good for my gut.
Yeah, I think pea is
and I found
good.
casein
and pea's got prebiotics as well.
I found the casein good too.
I haven't tried that one, but
I found the casein. It mixes well with water. It becomes a real mousse.
Nice. But I think just a natural pea protein. I have a protein powder, I have to say, in my range. My
You've got your own?
range, yes. And
I'm gonna have to talk to you about
it's
that.
a natural plant. Oh, I have to send you some. Okay. It's a natural plant-based one. But we also put fiber in our protein as well. So you've got a good mix. Yes, we do. So I would go towards a plant protein, personally speaking.
Okay. And what about glutamine?
Glutamine. Yeah, glutamine's interesting, isn't it?
Because it talks about gut health, this one.
Yeah.
Is it good? Know. Is it true? I just bought some, by the way. So say something good about it. No, just shaking. But
I'm on the fence.
Yeah, why?
I need to know more.
Yeah, because I bought it. So I just recently bought, because I do phases. I go without any supplements.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
it's good to have a break.
Yeah, I think I eat enough chicken and meat and vegetables. I'm very clean.
Yeah.
But, so I used to get casein. I have bought pea protein.
Yeah.
And at the moment I'm trying this whey isolate.
Oh, can I say what protein I do sometimes?
Yeah.
Pumpkin seed protein.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that good?
I like it because I like the taste. It's really good.
You make it?
No, I just
buy
buy. Well, sometimes I make it. Yeah, I just get pumpkin seeds and just put
Crush
them
them.
in my blender and
It's
whisk
got a lot of
them up.
protein in it, yeah?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
and it's quite good for you.
We'll talk after this. So there's we talked about creatine and where the good stuff is.
Yes.
Germany, or maybe coming from India.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, glutamine. I bought it because it said something about gut health,
Yeah,
and I thought, and it helps after training, so I thought
Yeah.
I bought it. I don't know.
yeah. I'm on the fence about that. I'm not entirely 100% convinced on glutamine. Some people react to it. Some people don't. I think it's up to the individual.
So, what's the bottom line? You don't
The
need
bottom
it?
line. The bottom line for me, for
What's
you.
the fence sitting? Yeah.
I would say the bottom
Not for
line
me.
for me.
Anyone
for you,
listening,
For anyone
go there.
listening, the bottom line is start with real food.
I love real food.
Start with going inside a bit more and less external, and just being comfortable doing your breathing and meditation. Real food is really good. If you do have a nutritional deficiency, get a blood test like once every 6 months or once a year. Find out what your nutritional deficiencies are and work towards that. Firstly from your diet, and then if you can't get it from your diet, then you could look at supplementation. Just going by, this is good, this is the new trend, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it's going to be good, especially taking isolated supplements in isolation. It can deregulate a lot of those processes because you need all these other components to happen at the same time, amino acids, all that sort of stuff. So I would say simple is best. Get it from a food if you can. Do your testing. If you're low on iron, eat a bit more meat.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Wow.
Food is medicine, Stephen.
I was going to, because we're coming towards the end, what's your vision?
My vision? Well, I would like to do the nursing home thing with the cats. I love working with animals.
I'd like to do something about the food with the nursing home.
Yeah. I think I definitely want to do more community work in my life. Like when I retire, I'm really keen to continue with community work. And I think living a simple, healthy, minimalist life is good.
May I've got to read one of your books.
I have to give you one of my books.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit of rapid fire with you, okay?
Okay.
We'll finish off with some rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
But all right, so
Should I be nervous?
What foods are destroying our gut silently?
Sugar and artificial sweeteners, big time.
Okay. What's the most powerful gut healing food?
I would say prebiotic rich veggies. So let's say sweet potato.
Sweet potato. God, I've got to buy sweet potato. Bodybuilders love sweet potato, by the way. What's one food which is similar to the gut thing, maybe, that you'd remove from everyone's diet tomorrow if you could?
One food?
Yeah.
I would say artificial sweeteners again.
Okay.
They're honestly so bad for you.
What's the most underrated thing someone can do for their health right now that costs absolutely nothing?
I would say stop eating early at 6 o'clock.
Yeah? Okay, I should be doing that. And eating relaxed. I might get a hammock.
And chewing more.
Chewing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Chew a bit more.
My joke went out the window. I get a hammock because she said, you got to eat relax. I'll get a hammock and just sit there. But Chris laughed about 2 minutes later. But I eat too quick. I eat very quick. I can't help it.
Yeah.
My mum had the world record in our
Did
family.
she?
And I think I came second.
Yeah, okay. So that can disrupt your digestion when you're eating too quickly.
I eat too quick.
So,
I can't help
just
it.
slowing down and being in the moment with your food is good. Enjoying it.
Supplements. We obviously said, are they necessary? Not really. But
Yeah.
And if you had to pick one you genuinely believed in, what would it be?
It would be my symbiotic, which is a probiotic, a prebiotic, a digestive enzyme, and a dietary fiber all in one.
Okay.
Love Your Gut Symbiotic.
What's it called?
The Love Your Gut Symbiotic. Yeah. It's everything. It's your one-stop gut shop.
The wellness trend that you think is actually dangerous right now?
Ice bathing.
Ice bathing. Yeah? Why?
It's just shocking for the body. In Ayurveda, we learn that if you're too cold, it's really shocking for the body. So,
Yeah, cold showers too?
yeah. I think cold showers are okay. Like my mum, she lived to 92. She passed away last year. But she would have a cold shower every morning because she was a war baby. She was born in 1933, so she kind of lived through the war. She would always have a cold shower. So for her, yeah.
What I like about the cold shower, besides taking my mind away from
But
things.
I think the ice baths are a bit intense, you know.
So they're not good, huh?
Personally, I don't think. For women,
Why?
not good. I just think it's too much a shock, too much of a shock on the body, and can destabilize you hormonally. I think.
Well, I'll tell you
yeah.
what, for some guys, it's going to create some serious shrinkness. So I wouldn't be doing it either.
Shrinkage.
Man. No, you come out of it. My God, there goes your whole masculinity.
There goes your love life.
There goes your love life. Forget about going out after it. We've got that joke.
That was
some
good.
laughter. Yeah,
That was a good one.
The shrinkage. It's cold. I think Seinfeld had a funny story about that. I think George ended up. Someone saw him and said something about his size, and he goes, "It's shrinkage. I was in the cold water." So, if someone can only change one thing about the way they eat, just one, what should it be?
I would say
Besides chewing slow.
that's a good one though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good one.
Have a balanced plate. 4, 3, 2, 1 approach.
Okay, yes. Protein, veggies.
Protein, veggies, carbs,
fat. Is avocado good?
Yeah, avocado is quite good.
What's the best fat?
I personally like olive oil. Yeah,
olive oil,
Mediterranean. Always go back to the Mediterranean.
Okay, where can people find you and learn more about you?
They can find me on superchargeyourgut.com and also superchargedfood.com. And my Instagram's Lee Supercharged.
Lee, have I covered everything?
Everything. We did all right? We covered a lot of topics, didn't we?
We covered
today?
a lot of topics. I think we got through. We got through the butterflies.
Yeah.
A lot of notes here. And I think we went with the flow.
Yeah, we did.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was so much fun. I love
great.
Muscle Talks podcast.
All right, we've got one more person on our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. So, to continue what we're doing and to keep supporting you and bringing the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for watching all podcasts. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking.